I'm realizing that as I'm approaching the end of Unsleeping City, that there's not really any other free series that they have available on their YouTube channel. I would have to pay for Dropout. And I'm like, I know it's only $6 a month and it's like not that bad, but like I also feel like this is actively eating into my productivity, which is already really low, you know? But it's just like, I don't know. I'm just really enjoying myself at the moment. I love the characters that they're doing and stuff like that. And it was just, I'm glad that you recommended it, because I want to say it was episode 1 of Tiny Heist was in my recommendations one night. And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. Fell in love, watched all of Fantasy High, binged 11 episodes of Unsleeping City. So
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed the series. I gotta say that Fantasy High Season 2 and the 7 take place in the same year as Fantasy Season 1, and they are, like, I would say a couple times over the intensity of what Fantasy High Season 1 is, as far as character relations and how, I would say, like, how intense the show gets. I like it.
I'll have to mull it over, because like I've already described previously that I have like a really tough time with productivity, because like if like in my personal life, if I ever encounter like even the slightest hurdle, my mind just immediately defaults to, why don't we just play like some League of Legends? Why don't we just play Risk of Rain? Like just defaulting to that. And since I started Fantasy High, every time that I run into any resistance, my brain just goes, let's just watch another episode, man. It's only an hour and a half. It's not that bad. It's like a movie. So yeah. I don't know. So like, it's not necessarily that the money is a concern. It's more of the fact that it is really high quality content that is siphoning my existence away. But yeah.
Saba go.
She was here for a second. I think she's having a problem with her mic. She said that so she messaged me saying that she would be about 10 minutes late for stream because she was having problems with her Wi-Fi. So I think she connected and then her voice never connected.
She was stuck in the whatever connecting thing.
Oh, the unsleeping or the sleeping realm or whatever it's called.
I don't know.
Saba's stuck in this unsleeping city. Oh fuck.
No.
She's stuck in Nod, dude.
I was gonna say, I will say that I have been, because my friend is from New York, one of my friends, and they very, very much love Unsleeping City, and we both like D20. They recently finished Fantasy Season 1 and 2, which I love. And so I'm trying to finish Unsleeping City which they love, so we can like talk about it together. And I have been very slowly chipping at it. I'm still in season 1 of Unsleeping City.
It's so unbelievably specific. And obviously it's because like almost all of the writers at College Humor live in New York or have lived in New York for extended periods of time. So they're really intimately familiar with the inner workings of the city or whatever. But like there's the part where they take the subway they take the subway to the unsleeping city, and fucking Brennan Mulligan just lists off the actual stops, all 30 of them of the L line, all the way to the fake ones that they made up off the cuff. And I'm like, all right, you need to calm down. I get it. You love New York. Like, I really appreciate that.
New York people be loving New York.
Surprise. But yeah, it's just great. And then obviously in my typical fashion that I love doing, with Fantasy High and Unsleeping City, I was just fantasizing about like, man, if I was in this campaign, what would my character be like? And you know me and my love of mimics. I thought that it would be really funny if the character that I played was for Unsleeping City. What if they were what if it was a mimic that's like really old? Because you know how mimics in theory, I don't know if this is how it works for in like D&D normally, but like mimics in theory over time get larger like reptiles because they just like live and consume and they just keep growing. What if there was a mimic that was large enough to mimic a taxi cab? So it's like the character is just a sentient mimic that is a taxi cab with just like fleshy teeth on the front, and like the leather seats, quote unquote, are actually real flesh. I was like, oh, that'd be great. I love that one.
That is a very good idea. It also makes me reflexively hurl.
Yeah, that's the point. But then it would be kind of cool, because it's like, what if the mimic could do a thing where it's like, okay, if no one's watching them, they could swap into like something that's a little bit more, appropriate for that moment. Because obviously a car can't fit into most buildings, as an example, so like they wouldn't be able to participate. But like, what if they could transform into, I don't know, something else that's like quintessentially New York but smaller, like a hot dog cart. Or turning into a street lamp, like one of those classic like iron street lamps, but they move around like a serpent or something. Like that'd be really cool. I would love to do something like that.
Like the Pixar lamp.
The Pixar lamp just hopping around like that. My attack is brilliant light. It's my eyes.
That's blindness.
Saba is in chat. She says, "Hi, I'm going to hang out here until I get me stuff working." She's a pirate, apparently. You can have time, Saba. We're still waiting for Lawrence as well. Just as like a quick aside, which I guess is actually more on topic than what we're talking about presently. But before we get started with today's stream,
you'd like to thank today's sponsor.
I would like to thank today's sponsor, Dimension 20. But
oh god, I wish.
That'd be so fucking dope, dude. Yo, College Humor, pay attention to the SCP campaign. I promise it's good, kinda.
Have you seen the one-offs they've had?
No. Well, yes and no. I've seen a lot of like season premieres. I haven't seen most of the one-offs that they've done.
They have a live one-off with Brian David Gilbert as a player.
Oh, I saw some highlights from that. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a highlight reel of like the best Nat 20s or whatever in whatever season. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorry. What I was gonna say was that we need to do a summary of what the fuck happened last episode on Ghost Trick.
I feel like you wouldn't say it unless a lot happened last episode of Ghost Trick.
Kind of a lot happened. And the thing is that I want to make sure that Saba and Lawrence are both here to actively experience the emotional turmoil that you guys will have to endure. Because Grant knows some stuff, because Grant was here for some stuff. And Grant only left like an hour early. What possibly could happen what could possibly happen in an hour? It'd be ridiculous to assume anything world-shattering occurred. That'd be insane. I also just realized that I was so excited to talk about D&D stuff that I forgot to update any of the stream information. So I accidentally had like the wrong title in the wrong category. It's okay. I fixed everything now though, so it's good. But yeah, I guess because like I said, I was originally just gonna talk to. Yeah, dude, like that's the character I want to play in a campaign. I just want to be a cute gelatinous slime that does essentially nothing but exist. I think that'd be fantastic. And also, is that a mimic that's a bucket?
Yes.
Dude, that's so good. It is a little fucked up that he has bones in him, though. I guess that's kind of just what gelatinous cubes do.
Yeah.
I guess they kind of just do that. But anyway, what was I going to say? I think one of the things, because obviously I binged a lot of D&D content, like, really quickly. And obviously the most quintessential part of like classic D&D is the D20, but like I don't know, I find it almost frustrating how often people will roll and like they just roll low and there's nothing else they could do about it, and like that doesn't feel like an expression of player skill, obviously, because it's a roll. Like when you're in combat, they have like advantages and like different ways that they can manipulate their results and stuff like that. So it's like, I guess that's a little bit more fine in combat. But at least based on what I saw, when they're like out and it's like, oh, give me an investigation check. And the one guy, I don't know the guy's actual name, but in both campaigns, he's played like like tiny, wily characters. Sorry,
or Brian Murphy
is his name? Yeah, they keep calling him Murphy, so I guess that makes sense. But yes, that guy. Like in Fantasy High, he literally plays like a child sleuth, like a Nancy Drew-ish character, and I think he only succeeded like 10% of his investigation checks, despite that literally being his specialty. And I just found that really just
Nancy Drew-esque high schooler was a very strange archetype to swing for, but I do love it.
Well, because it's like it ended up being like a really interesting thing to do, especially since the mom was a detective and the dad was a spy and stuff. So it's like, oh, these are all like really delightful story beats. But I want to try to figure out how well a homebrew, like foundationally different homebrew thing of like, what if the classic roll, instead of it just being rolling a single d20, was rolling 2d12? Because then obviously you have a higher average of middling rolls, but then it's more rare to get the really highs and the really lows, you know? Because like the average roll, or the most common roll rather, on 2d12 would be 13. And right. I feel like you could just math most stuff out, where it's like, okay, well, like obviously an easy roll would be a 12, a medium roll would be something like a 16, and then a hard roll would be like 20. So I don't know how well that would necessarily feel, but it's just like, if I was DMing something, unless it was like, oh, this is supposed to be a hard check, I really dislike the idea of people just being like, oops, I tripped and fell and broke my nose. Like, oh, fuck me.
Well, I'll say two things. One, the most recent season that they did, which is called Star Trek Space.
I watched the episode of that. Series. It's really good. It was great. I really enjoyed that.
The characters' abilities and the homebrew kind of modifications, a lot of them revolve around players being able to save a bad roll. Like a lot of them have different abilities that apply to different contexts, where you can, like, if this is your specialty, you have X, Y, or Z ability to either help you save a bad roll or help your friend save their bad roll. So I don't know, that might be interesting, but that's not finished yet. That's still like releasing every Wednesday.
Once a week.
The other thing I'll say is that as far as systems for rolling, I just want to describe a delightful system I learned of fairly recently for how a system determines. I don't remember the name of it, but the interesting way that I thought that they determine like the rolls, quote unquote, or the result thing, is that it's basically like every single time your character has to roll, you and your DM have like a face off, and each of you picks each of you takes out both your hands, and like on the count of 3 puts out a number of fingers, and ideally you want to add up to from 1 to 10, so it scales up between 1 and 10. If you go past 10, it loops back around. So if you put out 10 fingers, DM puts out 1 finger, you're back around to looping a 1, so you get a 1 on your result instead of a 10. Now that was really neat and interesting.
That's kind of interesting. That's very interactive, though. Like that's a lot of like the DM having to be like, all right, I'm gonna throw out a fucking 4. I'm gonna throw out a 3. Like, I don't know.
So I was just guessing, like, the DM would definitely like have to like, oh well, this guy likes throwing out big numbers, so if I want to like screw him over this time, or if I want to like, there's a lot of like potential choice involved, because like I think part of that system specifically is that the DM can, like, if they want something narratively to happen, they can try to influence it as well, but there is still luck involved, because like no one is psychic necessarily. So I thought that
you don't know exactly what the other person's going to throw. That's actually quite clever. I might steal that at some point, because it's like I've described previously that I'm much more fascinated in like the alternate randomness stuff that's gonna that you can incorporate into this sort of thing. One of the ones that I described to Saba, and I believe Grant at one point, that was quite exciting, was the idea of I can't remember what the actual name of the tabletop campaign that utilized this first. It's like its own individual box that you can buy. But the idea was that you don't necessarily actually go back in time, but you can expend like a character point. Like, you essentially, each character has a certain number of times that they can do this per an encounter, where it's all about heists and stuff, heists and assassinations. So technically the way that the game works is that you are all around a master plan table discussing the heist that you're going to do. Excuse me. And so when you encounter troubles along the way, someone will pipe up and be like, I actually planned for this ahead of time by doing X, Y, and Z. And then you would do rolls to determine how successful their prep was to alter the current situation and give them advantage on it. And I thought that was really neat. I thought that system was really cool. I like the idea of like, oh shit, we didn't realize that there was going to be a guard here. So like, what'd you do? Saba says, but I planned ahead for you planning ahead, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, kind of like that. Because it's a limited resource, and you don't necessarily want to spend it all on something super not relevant. But, because I just talked about how, like, I was hoping to make a more foundational system that's based on, like, 2d12 instead of 1d20. Excuse me. I was also, and I don't want to put too many mechanics on top of each other, but it's just too flavorful to not try. Where I described this to Grant yesterday before stream, but the thing that I really wanted to integrate into the campaign that I'm currently homebrewing, called the Weird West, is using playing cards as substitutions or buffs, like empowerments to rolls. So characters would have like a hand of playing cards that they can use to like, oh, I rolled a 3 and a 5, but I have this 10 in my hand, so I'm going to set the 3 to a 10 instead while spending the card so that I don't have it anymore. And then for things like opposed rolls, you and the DM would just do a quick game of blackjack, but then you still have cards in your hand. So like, you know, if the DM had something that was higher than what you had, you could swap out one of your cards with the one that you have in your hand while expending the previous one. I think that would be kind of interesting. And then also you could play poker and stuff like that. But I don't know. Just trying to figure out how to do that. Because like, I think the thing that I don't really understand without actually having, like, without having the actual ability to read, like, a dungeon guide or whatever, is I don't really know how to balance long rests and short rests and stuff like that. Like I don't quite know how often I should be letting players use these types of like weird abilities. So I don't know. I don't necessarily want to play it by ear either, because I want to make sure that my family has like a good experience with their first campaign. So there's a little bit of pressure there, but we'll figure it out.
I will say that on topic of just re-rolling, I'm playing the system Pathfinder 2e, very similar to 5e in a lot of ways. Although one of the core differences is that there are, instead of 2 degrees of success, failure, success, there are 4 degrees: crit, fail, failure, success, crit, success. And one of my players has this feature where they once per day can re-roll one of their failures or crit failures and take the next result. But every time they do, then whenever they succeed or succeed, I can say, hey, re-roll that in return as the DM. Except the thing is, every fucking time that they've done it, they've gone from like crit failure to failure, or failure to another failure, and they wouldn't improve at all. But every time I do in return, they go from success to crit success. Which is not supposed to work, but like the magic word twice now just been like, hey, you succeeded, re-roll that, I want you to crit instead. And then they do.
Well, they did. Well, they followed your directions.
Well, they did, yeah.
They're just good listeners. That's what that is. They're just good listeners.
That feature has become more me giving them like, all right, you're gonna succeed. I don't want you to succeed. I want you to critically see at this moment instead of them like me trying to fuck them over.
And they're like, okay.
Like, yeah, thanks. I make better use of their feature than they do for their purposes. Yeah.
Saba, you're still in chat, by the way. How are things going for you? Obviously, something's going on. So I want to figure this out, I guess. And then Lauren said he was going to be 10 minutes late, and it's now 25 minutes after showtime. So I wonder where he is.
Let's try to do a test of the finger thing system where we both put out a number at the same time. We try to make it add up as close to 10 as possible.
In on air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
So, I got. Wait. So who's doing it? Because someone has to be the DM, right?
I was gonna say me and Grant can do it, and Zach can be the referee.
Okay.
Okay. So we're trying to put out the number at the same time, and it has to add up to 10.
And it can go from 1 to 10, but if it goes over,
are you typing it, or are you gonna say it out loud?
Yeah, we'll type it.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, I'll be the referee. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Narrate the scenario and tell us what the stakes are.
Well, I need to know. So okay, I'm assuming Adrian in this case would be the DM, I guess, and Grant would be the player.
Sure.
Because otherwise it's the two of you fucking about to shoot each other or something. So it's like I don't know. So I don't know exactly how to make that work.
We're trying to do something cooperatively. We're trying to do teamwork here. We're working.
Oh, you're trying to do something
together.
Teamwork. Okay, I'm gonna say that in this particular context, did you guys ever see the movie The Other Guys? There's the part. Okay, well, there's a part where there's a part in the movie where there's two like deluxe cops, like everybody loves them, and they're like super broy, and they're like, yeah, we do the best work in the entire city, and so they're chasing after this bad guy, and the bad guy slid down a rope and cut the rope as he was going down, and so the two cops they do a big high five, big burly high five, and they're like, aim for the bushes, and they jump off this fucking 5-story building. I'm saying that this is the two of you jumping off a 5-story building to see if you hit the bushes or the sidewalk.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Right, Adrian.
Get your numbers ready. I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1, go.
No.
You looped around. You guys hit the sidewalk.
No.
I'm so sorry. You guys fucking actually very similar to how the movie went. Funny enough.
The other guys. All right, now Zach and Lawrence, you do it.
Okay, well you gotta narrate what Lawrence and I are doing because we're co-oping.
So Lawrence, you just joined, right? How much are you aware of what we're doing right now?
No clue.
Okay, so this is a system. So you know how like in D&D you roll a d20 plus modifiers every terms you roll, right?
Yeah.
This is an alternate system where you and the DM, in this case, a friend, if you're doing teamwork, probably, put out a number. In person, it would be with your fingers, but you could just do a number from 1 to 10, and you want to add up as close to 10 as possible. If you go over, it loops back around counting to 1. So, for example, if Zach goes out a 10 and you put out a 1, you'll get a 1 because that'll be 11 back to 1.
Okay.
So you want to try? So if me and Grant put out both a 5, we would have gotten a 10, but he put out a 6,
Grant put out a 6 because he wanted to hedge his bet, so it went back to 11.
Lower.
All right,
I was actually gonna do 9.
Wow.
Actually, a 4 wouldn't have been that bad. You just would have crushed every bone in your body.
Yeah, rather than die on impact.
All right, I got my number. Feel free to narrate the scenario.
I also got my number.
All right, so you guys are. I'm trying to think of a scenario where you try to do something cooperatively to teamwork. All right, so
Lawrence and I are trying to make it through a spelunky cave, and we are currently negotiating whether or not Lawrence should be sacrificed on the altar or not.
No, I was just gonna say that you guys are trying to change a light bulb by standing on top of one of each other's shoulders.
Okay, sure, okay.
You're trying to change a light bulb in an otherwise empty room. It's right above you, but it's tall enough that you need to be standing on those shoulders. However, the rest of the room is layered with spikes. Besides the 5-foot square you're standing in.
I'm assuming in this scenario I'm on the bottom, not because I'm taller than Lawrence, because I'm not really, but more because I think I weigh literally twice as much as he does.
I am very lightweight.
I'll leave it to your discretion and potentially the role here of your strategy.
Okay, I got my number.
I got my number.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Oh, pretty good.
I lowballed it because I was like, Lawrence doesn't know what he's fucking doing. I'm just gonna be stable. I'm just gonna be as stable as a rock to make sure that this guy doesn't fucking skewer his own face.
All right.
Why are we changing a light bulb in the spike room?
Someone's got to do it.
No one comes into the fucking spike room. You don't need a light bulb in here.
We all go to the spike room.
It's on the way to my bedroom, man.
I don't know. Playing this game with Zach is a little different because I know Zach's gonna choose 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, or 10.
No! I like this system. I think it's very fun.
Oh shit, you're right. I did pick a 3.
You pick the 3.
I totally didn't even register that was the case. Oh, you're super right.
Soul.
All right. Well, since we're still waiting for Saba, I want to narrate one between Lawrence and Grant because I know both of you are familiar with the scenario I have in mind. Both of you get your numbers ready. I'll narrate the scenario.
Wait, oh wait, never mind. I was gonna ask a stupid question.
Feel free to ask. Feel free to ask a stupid question.
Can we put 10?
If you both put 10, that would be 10 because you would. No, it would be 0.
Well, it would loop back around to 10 because it goes from 1 to 10.
Right. So
I guess this is what theoretically would be with the DM most of the time because if we are cooperating, then you probably have a few safe
you're not allowed to cooperate. You're not allowed to discuss. So don't do that. But okay, so the scenario is you are both D-class personnel and you've been assigned to clean SCP Concrete Baby's room. One of you needs to keep their eyes open while the other one mops up a little bit, and you have to make sure that you properly vocalize when you're gonna blink. If you don't do this, one of you and then very quickly the other one of you will have your neck snapped. So on the count of 3, get ready to submit your number. 3, 2, 1, go. That's a 9.
That's a 9.
That's a 9.
I will say I have been getting into SCPs recently as a thing.
You should do me a solid and go back to the SCP campaign that we did and tell me whether or not it makes any sense whatsoever.
Is it one of you playing Dr. Bright?
Yes, Lawrence was playing Dr. Bright, actually.
Yeah.
He's not. I guess he is an SCP, but he's supposed to be a researcher first, isn't he?
He's so Dr. Bright, in a literal sense, is actually just a soul that's permanently trapped in a ruby necklace that any being can wear, and Dr. Bright will just like possess them. So Lawrence was just playing Dr. Bright as a ruby, where anytime Lawrence's player character died in the next room, it would be another random person with the amulet on. So Lawrence's like physical appearance would constantly change and stuff like that.
Lawrence did become semi a god for a while, though.
He did. For a brief moment, he became one of the most dangerous SCPs in the entire known curriculum. Grant also played an SCP.
I remember that time because I think Zach was literally bogging out of his mind the fact that we actually won that.
It was like so with the SCP campaign, we were using a more narratively loose system. I have since revised it quite heavily, but the idea was that each player had 100 points of essentially luck, and whenever they succeeded in rolling a D100, the idea was that they couldn't roll over the number of luck points that they had. If they rolled over, that means that they failed whatever they were rolling for, and every time they succeeded or every time they made a stupid decision, their luck would go down. And so I want to say it was Dave was he was like this crazy Australian cryptozoologist guy who specializes in like wrestling and shooting ornery SCPs, like keeping them contained. And so
he was SCP Steve Irwin.
He was SCP Steve Irwin, essentially. Thaddeus Rhodes, I believe, was his name. And so he was contending with the SCP that we lovingly referred to as Acid Man. And it looked like Thaddeus was gonna be toast. Like, he sacrificed himself wholly to make sure that everybody else could get out safely. And so Lawrence, as Dr. Bright, was like, "Hey, Zach, can I try something?" And I was like, "Sure, what is it?" And he's like, "Can I throw my own necklace around Acid Man's head?" And I start cackling, and I'm like, "You know what? Make fucking 5 rolls. Each failed roll will be minus 10 luck. If you succeed all of them, it's all yours." And then he did. And for I want to say like 20 or 30 minutes, Lawrence was Acid Man. He just had all of the godlike powers. And and I think all you ended up doing was just killing a bunch of people, right? Because you went.
Oh yeah, because
we ended up going through a second room pretty easily because of him.
You went through a second room where normally they would have to contend with this weird virus that turns everybody into machines. Like it starts mechanizing your flesh and stuff. But Lawrence was Acid Man, so Lawrence just like fucking walked through and made a Lawrence-shaped hole in everything and just walked them straight to the exit. And then I think right after that, your mind started collapsing or whatever, so you got out of there. Yeah. But oh my god,
that was great.
Man, we've been talking a lot about a lot of tabletop stuff. we got to get to Ghost Trick.
SCP is 5031. I like the 6. I like Yet Another Murder Monster a lot.
I don't remember a lot of the numbers. I'll actually, 50... you know what, Adrian? I'll have to send you the PDF that I made because it was another thing, because I thought it would be a lot of fun with the SCP campaign to force the players to have to like flip through like a booklet of 100 SCPs to try and figure out what the fucking scenario that they were handling was. That took a long time to do. It was a really long document, but it was a lot of fun. All right. Let's get to the actual game, because unfortunately I forgot that where we left off yesterday was right in the middle of a trick time event, so we actually have limited time. Yeah. I have paused the game, so we have time to do this. This was Saba's suggestion from yesterday, and I think it's actually going to be pretty relevant in conveying how insane yesterday's episode was.
Mind-boggling.
So I think what we're going to do, because Adrian wasn't here at all, and obviously I presume that you did not watch the VOD. So, Grant, I would like for you to explain to Adrian what happened before you left yesterday.
What was the last thing you remember, Adrian?
Where the fuck were we? That's a great question.
Where were we before yesterday's stream? Because you were here last Saturday.
I was here, yeah.
So you saw the kidnapping of Camilla?
The guy who was in charge of all the police or whatever, we did the whole thing with like his daughter like being sick and her mom being trapped in the fucking chandelier by her giant boobies.
We did that. That is true. It was actually a fat ass, but yes.
We had the revelation that like, oh, there's a manipulator ghost out there, and I think that's around where we stopped about in that revelation, where like I was forced to sign this execution against my will, my body did it or whatever.
That sounds about right, because I believe right after that on Friday yesterday we shot off to Temsic Park because Lynn called us, right? Was that where we started? Was that where we started stream yesterday, Saba, Grant?
I believe so.
That sounds about right. Okay, so pick it up from there, Grant. What happened after that?
So
you don't have to go into super detail, but just cover the fucked up parts.
We went to the park, and surprisingly, Lynn's not dead. However, there is a man, the hippie dude, crushed by a giant fucking statue.
Wait, and so it's like, hippie dude?
It was a while ago.
You might like once.
He was like the sentinel of the park or whatever. He's like a guy with like a big orange afro, and he would constantly sing and prance around. He was like a hobo that lived in the park, essentially. We saw him one time when we first got introduced to Green Cap Boston Cop. So if you don't remember him, it's not super important. Just know that he's a hobo that lives in the park.
Yep. And so we were like, oh shit, okay, let's rewind time, go back. We go back and see that he was chilling in the park, and he watched as what's her face, Camilla, was about to be abducted again by Scuzzball.
Yep.
And she shoves him, and he lands against a lever, and it drops a giant the giant statue that falls on him, but it is above Camilla. And right as it is about to hit Camilla, it suddenly moves up and switches positions. Now it's above with a leaf. It fucking moves this giant statue with no other seeming reason and crushes him and kills him. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, now I want to ask, based off of what we just witnessed, Adrian, what do you think just happened?
A ghost trick.
That makes sense. A ghost trick, right? Sure. But who exactly?
That was the question on all our minds, because we're like, who the fuck could be that powerful to
Was
move?
it Lamp Guy?
It was not Ray. No.
I don't know then.
It was fucking Missile. The
What?
dog.
The dog.
Yeah, the dog.
Apparently,
Missile shows up and is like, I did it. I saved Camilla. I had to do it. I tried coming and saving her, but I guess I died along the way. So I remember this vaguely, and then we get to play as both Missile and Cecil, and Missile is fucking insanely strong.
Missile's tether is 3 times longer than Cecil's, just right off the bat. And
having the ability to switch objects that are the same shape. So he switched a leaf and the statue. So we go back, save him. That happened.
We figured out we had to switch with a football as well.
Yeah, we have to switch it with a football. Save the guy who got crushed. And go back to the present, and we're like, well, we should save Missile. And Missile's like, well, you know what? I'm going to stay as a ghost because I think I could do more. And then flies away in a leaf.
He gets blown away because he's currently in a leaf, and Lynn can't hold on to the leaf because the wind's too strong. So Missile just goes, like off into nowhere.
So Missile finally found out his ghost trick.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting him to, but yeah, apparently.
It should be noted. Should be noted, by the way, that as you've seen throughout the game, when we go into ghost mode, the screen goes red, right, with the red scan lines. With Missile, the screen went into green scan lines.
Yeah,
that's just something to note.
Colorblind.
Hippie Man then
everything's
reveals
just kind of orange.
that the reason. Wait, no, it's not called. The park is not named after it. The Hippie Man tells us that 10 years ago he witnessed a kidnapping and hostage situation where someone held 10 or like 12
like a young Lynn, a little girl Lynn,
a young Lynn, hostage, and where Detective Jode was like,
holding him at gunpoint. Yeah.
Holding him at gunpoint, blah, blah, blah. And then a meteor fell from the sky, landed in the park, and shards pierced into the guy's body, killing him.
What?
It's
pretty insane, Adrian, actually.
The meteor is named after the park, not the other way around. The meteor is named Temsic, and this guy worships it as a god. The meteor is still there.
The meteor's still there.
No one talks about this. No one talks about this. We go back to the justice's office or whatever, talk to Jode, and we're like, hey, man, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, that happened. I went to jail. I was going to kill him, and basically that's basically as bad as killing him. And it's like, no, it's not. It's really
not. It's super not, Jode. Like, I get it. I get it that you're super lawful good, but like, no.
And so he went to jail, turned himself in, obviously, and he was like, I've been doing painting portraits ever since. And the last one, when I was going to die, I wanted to remember the last face I saw, the one I remember most clearly, blah, blah, blah. And it's Cecil, being the one who supposedly took Lynn hostage 10 years ago. But it's not, but it is. I don't know. I left early.
He left at that point. So at this point, I'm going to need some help. With Saba and Lawrence as assists.
It gets worse.
I can't even begin to describe how fucking batshit it gets after this.
Oh my god, you've done yourself.
So okay,
yes.
so it was the thing. What happened after that?
Move off? So he got blown away by a leaf. Where did we go from the park again?
He just said that we went, Grant just said that we went back to the Justice Minister's office, asked Jode about the whole thing with the meteor and whatever. Jode reveals that he has way too much guilt. Like he has more guilt than anybody has any reasonable like method of keeping in their body.
Oh, yes. Okay, so from what I recall, he like pulls out
the Justice Minister gets a call.
Well, yeah, but he pulls out he pulls out the gun, right? And he's like, the Justice Minister's like, I can't, go along with this execution then.
Oh, you're right.
at
Sorry,
this
because
point.
we went to the park to go get the music box. You recall the
Which
music
held
box that was
the-
hidden.
Yeah, which held the gun that was the thing that accidentally shot his wife, and he, that would technically
It was like the
prove his
definitive
innocence.
evidence needed to prove that it wasn't him or his daughter. It was just like an accident. So
Yeah, so he pulls out his minister. He's like, okay, without a doubt, like I can't allow myself to like go through with this like now or stuff like that. And then he gets a phone call, to which we pick up the phone, and then a detective
Elvis
is on the line saying like the execution needs to happen. You have to you can't this is my demands, or these are our demands.
These are our demands. The
this.
execution must occur tonight. Yes.
And we're just all like, oh, is he evil? So he's been evil the entire time? And all of us were kind of like, oh my God, like this is like
So you do the natural
layers.
thing as a ghost trick, right? You follow the phone line to see what it looks like on the other end of the line. We get there, and Cecil is standing there holding a gun to Detective Elvis.
What?
Yes, he's standing there, and not only is he standing there, he's also very clearly evil. Like he does.
But where's
evil...
Cecil?
Sorry,
but where's Cecil?
We're getting there.
Oh,
We're getting there. I promise. So we get there, and the guy and Cecil standing there. He's like, good. You've done exactly what we planned. So get ready to get fucked, essentially. And
ultimately, let's see, because I think he ended up. The Cecil guy ended up like hurting Detective.
I didn't. Let me finish for a second.
Right?
Just give me a quick second, because I can't believe what happens next. The guy is standing there, and he apparently on a whim is able to cause objects around him to ghost trick. So the lamp that was on the desk spins around, knocks the gun out of Inspector Elvis's hand, which is caught by Cecil, and Cecil is like, I'm gonna fucking shoot you or whatever.
No, you missed it. You missed something though.
You're about to say the part where he gets shot.
No, you missed the other thing.
Okay, go. You go then. Fine.
Right?
You do it.
Didn't Detective Elvis pull out the gun first and do something with the gun first?
Where he shoots him. I thought that was after we went back in time once.
Was he already shot?
Whatever, just go. You go.
Whatever.
We're clearly stepping on each other's toes. You just go.
Ultimately, like Cecil ends up like shooting him, because that's the part we kind of see, like that part, to which we end up just ghost tricking like back. But I'm just gonna say the whole encounter ended up being first Detective Elvis like pulled out the gun and shoots Cecil, and he gets like thrown
across the room.
Yeah. And we're like, oh my gosh,
he slumps
just got
over
shot.
dead on top of the like wheelie steps that are in the superintendent's office. He's like slumped over dead. Suddenly the wheelie steps roll back into position, and he fucking marionettes himself back up into standing and just goes like, nice try.
And then the thing with like the lamp hitting the gun out of Detective's hand into Cecil's hand to subsequently him shooting him. Yes. So that's
so we do that, and it's like, okay, well, what are we gonna do now? We're in the past. We went 4 minutes back into the past, and it's like, okay, we're clearly ghost tricking around. We got to figure out what we got to do. So we go to a couple different spots. I think I ended up going up to this like hard hat that was hanging on something, and I tricked it, which caused it to rock, which would get me to the floor, right? Because that's where I wanted to get. I wanted to get to the floor so that way I could get around this guy. As soon as the hat...
Zach, would it be best for us to show them what this clip looks like?
No.
No,
we're already fucking 50 minutes into stream. We're not gonna take some time to show a clip. Anyway, the hat falls to the floor. The hard hat falls to the floor, and Cecil immediately gets an exclamation point. The screen goes blue, and you see that there is a spirit, like a spirit flame, inside of Cecil, and he just immediately goes, there you are. Nice try, though. We're going to cut it here. And he just instead of waiting the 4 minutes, just immediately shoots Inspector Elvis.
Oh yes, we also forgot to mention this. So this is what happened before we went 4 minutes back, I think. After he kills Detective, he goes to the phone, picks up the phone, and calls
the Blue Man Group.
The Blue Man Group, to which the Blue Man Group was like, did you we met all your conditions, and like we're gonna meet up and all of like these things. So we're just like baffled by this coin, because not only is like, Cecil's body up, but it's also talking with the Blue Man Group, and the Blue Man Group does call him Cecil. So it's like
they do actively refer to him as Cecil, yes. And you remember like super early on, and this is obviously for Grant too. You remember super early on when we saw the blue guy with the big nose and the big muscle guy, and then we like never saw them again. We see them again. They're the people that Cecil call, and so they finish the call. The muscle guy's like, "All right, well, let's get ready to disengage. We won't be able to receive any more calls until we arrive." And the other guy's like, "Okay, just give me some fruit then." And so they like do the table flipping thing. The camera. First off, the game suddenly gets really low resolution, but it zooms out, and that fucking super fancy opulent room is actually in the center of a giant submarine at the bottom of the ocean, and they take off. So that's apparently where the Blue Man Group's been based the entire time. And so we go back, and through different means, we go back again, and through different means, we do not get caught at this moment. We wait for, remember how I told you that the wheelie chair gets like brought back when he marionettes up? We actually use that wheelie chair to get into the basement, and we see that the basement is fucking exploded, just like the execution chair was. We go in there, turns out that the pigeon guy, the like superintendent pigeon guy, he's dead. We go back in time to like save him, which is presently what is happening here, right? Like that's the scene that you're seeing on your screen right now. And the over-under, just brief summary of this, is that apparently the pigeon guy is actually like some prestigious professor that's been helping Inspector Elvis figure out the nature of this like master manipulator ghost thing or whatever. And so they're figuring stuff out. They're doing like ghost scans, and they're like, "Oh, I don't understand how any of this works." And fucking Cecil just kind of like zombie sits up. Frankenstein sits up.
He looks dead right now.
He looks dead as fuck right now. He like torso first gets up off the table and just goes like, "Sorry guys. It looks like this isn't your day." And like the contraption that because you recognize this contraption, you've seen it a couple times. The Cupid that we've seen in the past activates, lighting dynamite, killing the pigeon guy.
Well, yeah. So I mean,
which by the way, apparently, Marionette Cecil, like the one that's being controlled by the manipulator, I guess he just doesn't feel pain. Which is another important point, because he like slams his fist on a stove at one point and doesn't react. And by the way, I think that's the reason. This is like a tangent. I'm now talking to Saba and Lawrence. You remember how we were discussing last night? Well, how does the security footage make any sense? The security footage of Lynn shooting him. Like if Lynn was being manipulated, why didn't Cecil react at all? Maybe Cecil didn't react at all because the manipulator was no longer piloting the corpse.
Oh, maybe.
I thought of that after stream yesterday. So it's like, oh, by the way, this master manipulator is the guy, evidently, according to his own words, is the guy who died 10 years ago from the meteor. But you'll recall that spirits are supposed to vanish at sunrise.
Yes, and I also wanted to take note that 10 years later, that these two also were like discussing the manipulator and big saying like, well, and they do come to the conclusion that like, yes, he's a spirit, and what like the Birdman's trying to do is trying to figure out what his power source is. To which then, it goes into the thing of him getting up being like, so you figured it out, guys, but it doesn't matter because you're all going to die in like the next few minutes.
Because apparently I was able to, look, you can even see the dynamite right there, right next to his hair. Didn't even notice that when we watched this the first time. But anyway, congratulations. You guys have been caught up. We now have a villain who has the exact same power as we do, if not more powerful.
Oh, so any questions? Comments, concerns?
So we're not Cecil.
So it appears as if we're not, because when we got caught that first time, like when the hard hat fell to the floor and the blue screen came up, he said, there you are. Why are you wearing my face? Right? Like, very specifically. You may or may not recall my present theory, totally not confirmed by the game at all, but my present theory is that if you recall from the security footage, Cecil that was on the security footage had a cat in his briefcase for whatever reason. I think that we are actually the undead spirit of a cat who just assumed that we looked like Cecil.
Though at the same time, the only thing that doesn't make sense to me is, like, how is this body so fresh, you know, if this was supposedly Cecil from 10 years ago?
Well, because it was yeah, that's a good point. I don't know
to
about
which
that.
I was like, maybe the Cecil has doppelganger lookalikes the same way the Blue Man group, was it the Blue Man group? The Blue Man group has, like, assassins that look the same as well.
That also might just, like, that would be incredible if the fact that Ligo and Jigo looked the same actually had story relevance. I assumed it was just because they were generic nobodies, but who knows?
Maybe, I don't know. By this point, we're just all confused. I think all of us at this point, we're like, we have no idea what's going on. Like, we don't know why any of this has happened. And right now, I think we're just trying to prevent the whole explosion from happening. But then don't forget, if he sees us, we're, like, screwed.
If he sees us, he will automatically, like, fast forward the scenario to its conclusion. So we have to do everything without getting caught.
I will say something that
I may
recommend you guys. Oh my god.
Oh, never mind. This isn't talking to him.
Is that the first time we got caught by this Cecil guy? He literally, the model of Cecil stops and looks directly towards us.
Yeah, it looks directly at the camera, saying, "Oh, so you finally found me."
Which I will say, we were, Zach, it was funny because Zach was like, oh yes, this was the point, this would have been the point I as a kid would have closed
the DS and not gone back to the game for 24 hours.
So does evil Cecil, whatever.
Evil. That's pretty good.
Evil.
Does evil have, like, different sprites than us since we're good Cecil?
So he doesn't seem to actually smile like we do, but he does have unique in the sense that he, like, you'll probably see it here in a second. Like, we'll do this. Hopefully the sprites kick in.
Who's been voicing this guy?
I think Lawrence was at. So I've obviously been doing Cecil. Lawrence was actually doing a really good Elvis, so I'd actually appreciate it if Lawrence kept doing that.
All right.
But yeah, I'm not going to voice all this again since we already saw it, but you can see the custom sprites, I think.
you left at a really bad time, Grant.
I know.
But it was all batshit insane because it was the fact that, like, Grant, it's not necessarily that he left at a bad time. It's like so much shit happened in an hour.
Yeah,
you know?
So much stuff that was unexpected.
Look at this guy.
Oh yeah, and then he basically said, by the way, for the contraption, because Cupid's facing the right way, he's like, Cupid's not going to turn the wrong way this time. And, like, you know, kind of solidifying that he indeed was the guy who caused the gun to shoot the wife.
To create conclusive evidence, you know, on that security tape. Oh yeah, by the way, apparently that's Sievel's, like, whole master plan is to the guy who died by the meteor 10 years ago, for whatever reason, blames Lynn, Jode, and Detective Elvis the most for his death, because those three individuals were, in his mind, the people that led him to be in that exact moment to get killed by the meteor that day. So that's why he's, like, trying to fuck all of them over, I guess.
Okay.
Hi, I'm a ghost. I'm tickling him. Hello.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, he's leaving the country. Oh yeah, he's trying to clear. Oh yeah, that was another theory. I think Sievel's trying to take over the world. Because I think Seville, because he's just perpetually been dead, I think he has the ability to just at whim go back in time 4 minutes and just do whatever the fuck he wants whenever the fuck he wants. I think because he's like planning to leave the country, and like apparently he has some big scheme. So it's like I think he's gonna try to take over the world.
We will say, we also, I don't think you mentioned this, is that I think he in particular is trying to take out everyone who knows about Temsic, which I think is like a trio of people. Do you remember who it was, Zach?
Do I remember who it was?
Yeah, so I think Dr. Elvis is one of them. I think Jode is another one.
I literally just said the 3 people. It was Lynn, Jode, and Dr. Elvis.
Lynn. Okay, yeah. So...
I don't know
how he expects to take care of Lynn.
I can't actually spin this. No. He explained just now in the scene, and we saw it last night too. He's taking care of Lynn because Lynn is going to get arrested for the murder of Cecil, quote unquote, because of the security cam footage. Like, the security cam footage was purposely taken because Seville wanted that to happen. And then, similar to how Jode is getting executed because, like, whatever, Blue Man Group, like, secret underground dealings or whatever, he's planning on having the same thing done to Lynn. And then he's about to murder Detective Elvis. So I have to rescue you without stopping the explosion. How do you prevent? Oh, can I can open this? Was there ever a point where he wasn't standing on this? I didn't notice. There was a lot we were talking about. There was a lot of ground to cover narratively. So I think I missed out on a lot of details. There's not exactly a whole lot to actually connect to.
Oof.
What a ride.
What a ride.
I'm winded just listening to all that.
Cecil told me.
Oh, is this?
I think that's Missile. Maybe we should be voicing this now that I think about it.
Okay, yeah.
Lawrence, you want to take it away?
What's with a frail sounding call for help?
He's here somewhere. I don't know who he is. A friend of yours? Yep. A little guy that looks a little fragile, but has strength that'd surprise you.
Yeah.
Well, he's asking you to find him. And I'm sorry.
And before he's carried away, no less.
I'm almost out of time.
I'm guessing everyone in the room is able to pick up on our ghost conversations.
Anybody who has already developed a ghost core, I believe, can listen in on ghost conversations as long as they're in a vicinity. Yes.
Which I don't think he can detect us unless we do something.
I think he literally just sees whether or not we've done it, you know?
Yeah. How are we gonna find...
He's in a leaf, right? We definitely don't have enough time to find this fucking leaf, dude. Oh! Oh, there it is. It's the leaf.
Leaf.
Cecil! Here I am!
Oh, hey! It's, what's your name? Missile! That was... Yeah. The dog. Yeah.
Yeah!
What are you doing here?
Do you really have to ask? Seriously, are you really going there?
No, that's okay. Never mind. Anyway, I need your powers. Will you help me out?
Of course. Here, let me join you.
This is a lot of time that's passing.
So here's the green screen.
The green screen.
Okay, here I am, Cecil.
Oh, God.
Okay.
This is, never mind.
Maybe now things will flow in a new direction.
Even though the flow of the sewer is a little bit stinky.
What do you mean fate changed? Nothing happened!
You changed.
All of
Missile
fate has been changed.
So we have next to no seconds to figure out what we can swap.
You have to swap the dynamite. That's the only thing you can
The dynamite I can't pick up the dynamite.
Oh, then I don't
Damn.
We need something that has a similar shape to something else, but there's nothing here that has any shape.
We can't activate this. That's not a sprinkler system, I'm assuming.
What about to the right?
Way up here? This is a hoist. The thing to the
and
right.
That's the fan to the right.
Is it a petard?
Oh yeah, there's a little thing over there. I don't know if I can do anything with that. Oh, I also can't get back. Give me a second. Friggin', this is another thing that you have to do. No! Fucking, oh. Oops.
Yeah, the game became way more complicated now with the addition of the dog.
So we can go over this way. There's a ball.
Dog trick.
I can't swap that. There's a lid. Oh, I can make it a trash can. Oh, I like the rat going after the pink rat. Those squeaky guys are making a fuss about something. Saba?
Oh yeah, sorry. Cecil! My animal instincts are starting to surface!
If you mean you want to chase them, I think you have to be alive to do that.
Damn.
There must be some kind of rat feast in that trash can. Is it a fucking cheese wheel? Those things usually make a bigger commotion than that. A bigger commotion, eh? Dude, stop putting me in the unpause zone. Oh, hey! Wow, how convenient. It's a pile of books and a pile of boxes that are just the exact same shape. Wait, how did the rat do that? How did it stay on top?
No clip.
Oh, strengths.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the rats.
We're gonna fall over. So then it's a different shape.
What of it's a... No, that's what I call some proper commotion.
That are making that trash can dance.
Truth be told, I feel a bit like dancing now myself.
It's getting harder and harder to hold my wild instincts back!
What a dangerous bunch. Cool, trick time, glad. It's the trash can lid makes a new circle.
This is not incredibly relevant, but are anyone here familiar with the German Wrestling Federation?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
I just keep imagining the green screen. so you know, like WWE and like pro wrestling, right?
I am
German
familiar,
played the game. He made a bunch of his own characters. One of them, the most powerful character he's ever created, is called the Green Screen, who's just a guy dressed entirely in a green jumpsuit who has the power to have things like post-edited onto him.
Goddamn.
Such power.
It has the power to become anything as long as the editor's budget allows.
And also, I guess it vaguely has his shape.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
Form of human-shaped water.
Form of repeating grass PNG.
Okay, so we figured out something in relation to I don't know, something. What did we find? What did we just discover?
Got a circle.
The
We got a
rats.
trash can lid. Like, that's cool, but why? What does it do? I'm not exactly confident as to how useful a trash can lid might be. 'Cause it was this. I know we swapped these. Here, let me do a little bit of this. Just a little bit of that, just so that way we don't have to do all this over again. It's a great animation. I love the animation. I couldn't imagine how frustrating it would be having to repeat this like a million times. Okay. The lid falls. Great, cool. Dude, where's the fucking lid? You motherfuckers. Why is the lid not falling? There it is.
Oh.
God.
Wow.
Okay,
The
so
last second.
cool. We got We got a lid. Now what?
Well, we wait till it falls.
Oh my God, does it? Wait a minute.
Yeah, it falls.
No, wait, you're
becomes a new
right. But
shape.
wait, actually, is it the same shape as the fucking the trap door below him?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's great.
We just ran out of time last time.
So now that it's like this, we won't swap anymore, and we actually have to wait until it stops moving. Wait! Oh my God.
There we go.
Save this guy's life. He's just gonna be like,
Yoink.
woo!
Wait, but won't that kill?
He didn't die last time.
He grievously wounded instead.
Once again, you'll notice how
so
Cecil.
he thinks he's dead.
He thinks that it still killed him. Oh.
That's pretty good. I mean, not that, this guy couldn't see a hole in the ground that, just so happened to be where he was standing.
Listen, there's a
So-
bunch of rubble on top of it now. We're not talking about that. Anyway, sorry, little pigeon. Wow, even in death, he's striking a pose.
Oh, but this is how he got hurt, the inspector.
Oh, you're right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
As for you, Inspector,
Nerd.
I have a little job for you. Oh, the call. Yeah.
I can't move. I think I have 4 or 5 broken ribs, bones, whatever.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense why he has broken bones now, because there was a fucking explosion.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I won't prevent you. It won't prevent me from manipulating you.
Yikes.
If you do, you might as well strike a pose.
It might hurt a little. It might hurt a little bit when I move you, though. Quite a bit, actually.
Damn you.
Well, what can you do?
Nothing.
Bird.
Bird.
Bird. The tip of my nose goes higher than my skull. I can't believe it. You lot actually pulled it off. Sorry, Inspector. Help. Please.
Sorry, Inspector Castle Crashers.
We already said that. I know we already said that.
Did you? I haven't been here.
I know, but I'm just saying, we already said it. We gotta do something else.
Inspector Cantankerous?
You said that already.
Did we say calamari?
We might not have, but we'll go with it.
Used.
I said that one.
Fuck.
Oh God.
Captain Carcinogen?
I already said that one.
Carrion.
The game? I think we already did.
Wow.
I think that was also
Cataclysm?
you, Grant. Are you just looking at your Steam library and typing CA?
No, I didn't. You said we use Castle Crash, and I was like, all right, what's another CA game?
Is it? Do we ever use Inspector Cataclysm?
Sorry, Inspector Cataclysm. I couldn't do anything to help you.
There I am, a poor broken heap of arms and legs. But no matter, I enjoy the show. The magic disappearing act, that is. Nothing like it, baby.
Yeah, except, unlike a normal magic trick, I'm the one that managed to vanish without a trace here. I don't know why we care about that.
Well, we still have some time.
Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if it's super relevant, but the vaguely racist observation or prediction towards the beginning of the game where I said I bet you that every single character that has blue skin will actually be a bad guy is super true, because the one character that was iffy was the Doctor, and Inspector Elvis revealed last episode that actually the Doctor was a bad guy, and it's like, well, damn it. Now the Blue Man Group is evil. There is no excuse.
Yep.
What's the matter? You look like you'd rather be dead. Not that you aren't.
Oh, just remembering the fact that right about now, The real me is giving the poor Justice Minister a real fright.
On that phone call? Yeah, he was pretty upset. What? I think this is supposed to be Cecil.
Oh,
Excuse me, mister. You really shouldn't be mean like that.
You're talking to a dog.
what a lively little creature.
I've never seen one in my life.
I've never seen this. Am I supposed to kick it?
Oh, God.
Oh, this little doggy is the warrior who keeps Camilla safe. Or he would be, if he was actually still full of life.
Camilla. Gods in heaven, what a terrible thing. That poor little girl taken hostage.
It's a cruel twist of fate indeed.
Wait a minute! Miss Camila is a hostage?
I know
It's
I made the
our
same.
hostage.
I know that I made this same observation yesterday, and I guess it's kind of a joke, but I read that as Hokage again.
Well,
Oh my God.
Miss Camilla is a Hokage?
Dang, she'd be real powerful.
Yeah, that's for sure.
yes, we're sorry, little warrior.
Miss Camila? A hostage? What? What's a hostage?
Anyway, Inspector.
Carbonara.
Caliber.
Casanova.
Inspector Caliber. It's time to save your life now. Oh, because we changed his fate, because now there's a guy in the basement who can help.
Who can help?
But you can't get very far when you tried before, am I right?
But this time, it's different. Right, Cecil?
That's right. With us working together, it's a whole different situation. Oh yeah, that's true. We have Missile now. We'll save the Inspector in white, and then we'll go rescue Camilla, okay?
Okay, let's hurry up and get through this.
Gee, kids, you're making me feel like an afterthought.
You were literally mentioned first.
I could be mentioned zeros. That's how important I am.
All right, let's get started. Inspector... Already
Cardiac
said,
arrest.
we said that
I
yesterday.
use that one.
Caveman.
Inspector Caveman.
That's pretty good.
Bonk.
So our first step is to get up there.
Cecil, I'll go up first and wait for you.
You stupid dog! Aw, the bird's name is Lovey Dove.
Aw. How cute.
Okay, Lovey Dove. We need your help. Carry this measuring device upstairs. It has Mr. Ghost in it, so don't drop it. This is a strong-ass bird. Holy shit.
The power
That
of blend.
pan weighs more than it.
That's true.
Is that?
Oh my god, and he's like sinking.
Help, I'm sinking!
Like a boat. Okay, we made it.
There you are, Cecil.
Sorry for the wait, Missile. 4 minutes from now, the inspector will be killed by a gun.
Oh, you need to jump in and stop him from firing, would you?
There you go again with that stuff. Besides, it doesn't make any sense. If you stop him from firing, he'll just kill you some other way. Wait a minute. That sounds familiar. Yep, same situation as mine. Your best bet is, this time around, is to allow him to shoot and then save
Yikes.
Cave's story without him noticing.
Oh.
Super cheating. I'm just using Cave again, but forgive
Yes,
me.
like I used candle.
I was gonna
again.
say cavalry.
I think we already said
Oh.
cavalry.
Oh.
Capture.
Yo, fucking, we gotta use capture. That's a good one.
Okay, you can use capture next.
It's even worse than last time.
Oh, you know what we should use? It's a Russian woman captive.
Hey! I do think that my favorite not name that I've used so far was Capcom.
Nice.
Anywho, jump in and do something.
Okay, I'm ready to jump in, Cecil. Don't forget, whenever you want to use my power, just touch the boop icon.
So have we like merged with Missile kind of?
Missile is his
like
own spirit who can do his own thing.
And we can't actually be on the same spot at once.
Oh,
so
there's
I
a
don't think
fucking
merging
knit
is a thing.
hat and another hat that look exactly
So
the
I don't
same.
know, basically what he's saying is we have to get him to shoot, but we have to like
Save his
make it
life
look like-
afterwards, yeah.
or like at least or like make him so he like I don't know, like can we swap? Is there a bulletproof vest here? Somewhere?
There's a hard hat.
That would be convenient.
I was thinking I was
Very
thinking about
convenient.
using the hard hat or maybe a book, because he doesn't have anything on his person, you know.
I don't know if a hard hit can absorb a bullet.
Well, I'm just thinking. Well, okay. Well, listen. I also don't think that drinking a bunch of water can delay a heart attack.
I forgot
it
that was a
can.
thing this game proposed. Wait, Zach. I
What?
think there's a typo in the name. I should just say, I don't know if I should say stepladder.
Oh no. See,
Oh
signs
yeah,
his
there's the
fist.
thing with his immunity
And then
to
he
pain.
points. I guess I kind of want to just watch the scene because I don't know if there's anything we can do right now. There's not really anything to grab onto. I mean, he's facing the other direction now. Can we do like this? We can trick this. Shit! Oh my god, did he notice? He didn't notice. Whew. He turned around. I wonder if I could have knocked the helmet off the wall.
Does he notice if we trick in like his cone of vision?
I think that's how it works. I think it's if he's facing the direction and we trick something, he'll pick up on it and fail us immediately. He's essentially a Metal Gear Solid guard.
But like even more effective, and we can't just snap his neck.
Correct.
Oh yeah, so they get to see this.
I said this line.
Oh my god, it's ragdoll!
Yeah. Yeah.
But watch him stand up.
He got some moves.
I like
just
the way his hair
me.
flops back.
So he's actually closer.
Shamona.
Somehow.
He's actually closer now than he was before. I don't know if that's relevant at all, but it's interesting.
Maybe we can do stuff behind him now?
I can't
That we couldn't have before?
manipulate the ladder. So it seems like whatever we had to do it before he shoots.
Are those two hard hats? What's on the right? I can't see what's on the right in the ghost world.
I already saw it. It's a knit cap that is the exact same shape as the
I wonder if a
helmet.
knit cap can do anything.
We can swap it, but I don't know what to swap it with. You know,
It can keep us warm.
it can keep us warm. You're right.
Bang.
Shot in the head.
Yeah.
You'll know about Temsic. No, wait, our chance is coming up?
Oh, that's the second thing, right?
What?
Leave it
Holy
to
shit, we
me.
swapped the bullet with the hat?
Oh my god.
He's gonna
What?
get hit in the face with the
Bullet with a hat.
The bullet,
moment-
the bullet is in the shape. Oh, and if we do the hard hat, he's still gonna get his face crushed in. That's why we need to swap it with the knit hat, so it just kind of goes. Poof.
Well, that's what I was asking. Is there a conservation of momentum still?
I don't know, man. Maybe.
That's some science stuff, you know?
Wait, but the knit hat's there behind him. What if the concentration brings the bullet over and keeps the bullet and travels and hits both of them or something?
Oh fuck.
Flies through.
Well, I mean, I think
Would
the
you
spirit guy
look
will be
at
fine.
that? The bullet is hanging in midair between the gun and the inspector's forehead.
Now's our chance! I'm hearing the bullet right now!
God, he's gonna get so hurt.
Let's swap this little thing with something else!
This doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because remember how we're doing this because like we're doing this because if he doesn't just shoot him with the gun, he'll just kill him some other way. And it's like, okay, I get that. Like that makes a lot of sense. But also, if we swap a bullet with a hard hat, won't he fucking notice?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, I mean, he's already shot at that point, and what if he doesn't have any more bullets?
He has the one bullet.
He's like, oh, I used my.
No, the
tack
2.
gun
He already
instead."
shot him once.
Oh, you're right. That's true. Lawrence,
Oh, what?
it's our only hope. There's got to be something here with the same shape and direction.
And direction.
It has to be hanging because the bullet's going horizontally to left now. And if because Nick Cap's sitting on the table, isn't it? So it's not facing the left.
The Nick Cap is currently hanging off the wall, so I think you're right.
It's a cute little shape, doesn't it?
Let's trick the bullet. Make it go faster.
I don't think we can leave the. Well, actually, time is paused. So I guess you're right.
Why is the bullet like facing up and to the left if it was shot horizontally?
Well, because the thing is that if we rock the helmet does that too. So I think we have to like. No, we can't unpause. We can't unpause to do a trick with Cecil. So right before he shoots, I have to rock the helmet so that way it's in the proper position, so that way he can swap it?
Good luck.
Fucking, that's super precise timing. I can check the bullet in the top screen. Okay, well, fuck. Never mind, I guess those count. Sure. I also like how the highlights of the bullet clearly show that it comes to a point, i.e. it's not the same shape.
It's close enough.
It's all relative, you know.
Man,
Yeah,
this is gonna hurt him.
working.
Oh, yes, he's fucking.
Wow.
Is he still dead?
I think he's still dead.
Yeah.
Dude, if you imagine the
that's great.
force
I love
on that
that.
bullet, yeah, if you have that same force with a hard hat, I'm pretty sure your face is gonna be
Well,
smushed in.
that's why. Okay, so we got to
We
get.
just made things worse. He said that he's even more dead.
Okay. All right. Listen.
It's pretty funny.
Listen. So we gotta
From the top.
figure out how to get the Nick Cap over to the left-hand side of the room. That's obvious. How do we do that? Missile is currently in this chair. We can't do anything with the chair, I don't think. I'm gonna wait for all this to be done. The bullets is the key to this whole thing. This is kind of bullshit. And man, Missile has incredible reaction time. I don't know if any of you noticed that, but that's pretty fucking ridiculous that a dog can
Poggers.
bring up the ghost mode right as the
Doggers?
bullet.
Dog champ?
Dog champ.
Doggers.
Listen, I'm not one to do the internet meme stuff, but this is pretty doggers. Okay, so unfortunately, like, I don't know what we can do. We can't really fucking do anything. We can't swap, we can't manipulate anything, because Cecil can't go up. He needs the stepladder to be moved, you know? I don't know.
We just have to wait until that happens, right? So we
that's
just
super
have to
weird,
just
though.
wait.
That's that like you know what I mean? That like this 4-minute scenario requires you to just wait for a while. That feels weird. I don't think you're wrong, obviously. I think you're right, but it just feels weird.
Normally we have a thing where it's like
also
change of fate, right? But
yeah, you're right. But
normally we don't have a change of fate till the last second. So.
But we can't. We actually can't wait until he gets shot, because him getting shot is what moves the stepladder. Like we all know that. But we can't, because once the stepladder moves, we don't have access to the right-hand side with the knit cap anymore. So we had to do something with the knit cap beforehand.
Did our tether get longer?
So this is Missile. Missile has a longer tether. Cecil has his normal tether.
Okay.
But
wow,
he still
Missile's
can't.
more powerful than us.
Yeah.
To be fair, his power is a lot more specific than ours.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know, man. There's got to be something. It's definitely not the tea kettle, definitely not the lamp. The phone? No, because Cecil can't leave.
The phone and the tea kettle.
He can go down here. I don't know why he would, but he can. There's a book up here that I can't do anything with. Well, I guess I gotta just keep going. That's Cecil. Cecil can climb up through that. Okay. We can't swivel this. Oh, we need him to turn around. So that way we can swivel this without him seeing it. Maybe he won't notice. What are the chances of him noticing, you know? A guy that's been doing this every day for 10 years, what's the chance of him noticing a ghost trick?
He's a buffoon.
That's the kind of guy you are. Turns around. Can I trick this? Boop, boop, boop. Nope.
Just as long as he's got his back turned, you know?
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Hello. I'm just gonna zoop. There you go. So we can still get over here. Okay.
Dude,
Well, we've made progress,
He's
but
a
now what?
Pomeranian. How can he stretch his paw this long? Okay.
We have made progress. We
He's
still
so strong. That's why
we still need.
But, bro, if it was like a Great Dane, I would like, makes more sense. But no.
It's a tiny Pomeranian.
Oh my god.
I wonder if this poster has a similar shape to. Oh, by the way, look, it's a bunch of space rocks.
Cool.
Well, that's it. That's relevant because of the meteor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, the book doesn't look like anything right now. Can Cecil go up into the book? Does the book have anything? Well, it has an examine. I don't know if we can examine it. But... Top of this bookshelf is lined with books. How did this old pigeon guy even reach up here? I ain't telling. Alright, well that's just flavor text. They're so far away, man. I don't know. Is there another object in the room that kind of has a similar shape to the cap? The bullet, obviously, but... Can we catch the bullet that Inspector Elvis fires?
Was it just a cut?
Maybe we can.
Remember.
That feels fucking impossible, but maybe we could, right?
That seems nutty.
Come on, Missile, use your reflexes for us again.
Because he's facing the other direction, so we could do any number of things right now. There's so many things we could do. Because it's like, if I go down here, I could rock this. Rocky helm. Oh, fuck. He noticed.
Hard cut.
Okay, so he still notices. It's just loud. Okay, that's the problem with that. So we can't rock that. Fucking... I don't know. All I can think of is Annabella. Let's try to catch his bullet. But wait, wouldn't it be facing the wrong direction as well?
Would.
Okay, I cannot catch the bullet.
Yeah, I thought
It's a
was,
cutscene.
It's a cutscene, yeah. And we can't like move the cart, right?
The
so
step
he doesn't
ladder.
land on it. Yeah. So when he like gets shot the first time, he doesn't land on it.
Not that I could see, but I can try again. I can always just load the previous thing.
So instead, when he gets shot, he just like falls down the ground instead of rolling
Like
back.
really far. Oh, look, you
Yeah.
can move the step ladder.
Yeah.
It had dash 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 before.
Were you in Missile's body?
Oh, I
maybe?
might have been in Missile's body. You're probably right. Because if I move this, will he notice? Nope, he didn't notice. Okay, cool. So we got
Does that
this.
change the cutscene at all?
Wait, can we
jiggle
knock this down? And yeah, and it'll land on the step ladder. We can bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But now the problem is that and it's the shape of the book. It's the shape of the book now. So we can do this. I don't know if we can reach that far. We can. Okay, cool. So now we're up here. That's real great. Oh, it's on the. Oh, but the thing.
Oh, you need to do it in the millisecond that it's opened back up again. Oh man.
I don't know if it, I don't know. Nate, you think so?
Maybe.
That's
we have to do it.
That's so specific, isn't it?
Zach,
Let's.
We had to get to a fan while the guy was guzzling water. Okay, this thing gets kind of specific.
That's so true. So, but the thing is that like. No, I think you're right. God, really? The moment before he shoots the fucking bullet?
Well, we
That's
could have
so
done this
hard.
stuff a little bit earlier, right? Like, we just have to make sure we move the thing while he's not looking.
Well, because he hears this, and unfortunately, I can't rock the because I want to just get this off the hook, right?
Oh, we can't reach with Cecil for the stepladder until after he gets shot. Okay,
Yeah,
that's why.
So I was hoping that, like, I thought it would be great if, as he was getting shot, we could rock this so it hits the floor, but I guess not. So, all right. Well, I guess we just gotta wait. Where's Cecil? Hey, Cecil, you gotta get out of there, man. Let's get Cecil closer to this thing. It's weird that Beauty has a sixth sense, and so does Jode, but then this guy doesn't. Gets shot. Can't do nothing about this. The ragdoll is really comedic.
Whoa.
All right, he marionettes
As
his way up
quickly as
there.
possible.
There we go. Maybe I shouldn't have just saved over the previous.
It's okay. We can just start from the beginning. It's not like we really did too much.
I guess that's true. It's just a lot of cutscenes. Okay. So we go up here and jiggle this.
guys, this is pretty hype. But I think agree with Zach that like if we once we switch it, I feel like he should know. He should notice that something weird happened.
Like, it's just gonna be like suddenly he's just gonna have a Nick Cap in his face, right? Wouldn't it? Like, and I know Adrian was making the joke of like, oh well, there's only 2 bullets in the gun. Like, wouldn't there be like a full clip, and wouldn't you just shoot the guy again? I don't know.
Technology has regressed.
Has regressed.
Regress.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna do this now. So I guess we're just gonna wait. Okay. So do I do it now? Because it's 0 seconds before death?
Or
I mean, I don't. Well, you could have also, if it opened up, you could just switch it with the. Wait, no, because that would end up making the thing.
Oh, you're
fall
right.
down.
Actually, could we just switch it with the hard hat?
But if it's like,
but
if
then the
it's
hard hat
falling,
would...
it'll.
Well, who cares?
Yeah.
He's getting shot. Right?
Well, you can try.
Yeah, like we're actually. I think that's really clever. Actually, just swapping it with the hard hat.
Because at first, that's what I thought to do.
Never mind. It's an animation. You can't do anything about it. Cool.
Oop.
That's great. Clever idea, Saba. The game wouldn't let you.
Well, can we try doing it with the hard hat first? Because I was in the middle of him
Swapping
getting
what with the
shot,
hard
right?
hat? Oh, you mean like Cecil jiggling it?
But that doesn't make any sense.
You're damn right
I think
it doesn't.
I think we were so close. Since we were so close to this, it wouldn't have mattered. We wouldn't been able to do anything. This was another
What
condition of
happens?
my
Okay, so
hero.
we're here, right? What happens if we just go into Cecil and just do? What happens if we just ghost trick this? Will he automatically just start? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That obviously makes a lot of sense. So So we still need to go get the knit cap. Just thinking. Because evidently, the hat falling is an animation that you cannot interrupt with Ghost Trick. So that's really annoying. Like, I don't know why that one is so particular, but then other ones aren't. So how do we get the... I don't know. Well, I know we need to go get the knit cap, so might as well go get that. Nope, I'm in the wrong one. Get over there. Okay, pop, pop. Jiggle it. Like jiggling fever. Alright. Now what? Fucking rocket when the lamp spins around?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I tried to time it.
Nope.
It did not work. Okay, cool. Fucking, I'm gonna get so sick of this. Doon, 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 doon.
Getting really good at it.
Yeah.
That's not really a jiggle, that was more of a hop. Alright, let's go. Get back there. Cool. Hard hat. Why did we can swap multiple times, right? No, because then that wouldn't make any sense. Because if we swap the hat for the bullet and then swap the knit cap with the book, time will resume because it needs to fall. So
See,
that doesn't make
the
any
thing
sense.
I first thought what would have happened, right, is that you swap the knit hat for the book, the hat would fall down, we would swap the hat for the hard hat, and then, like, when the bullet gets shot, we would just, you know, switch those two. But I think from what I said, I think the hard hat would just end up on the ground causing noise. I think that's the only thing that ruins this plan.
Okay. Cannot do anything once it swings. Good to know.
Well, we still have, like, the 1 second, right, when he shoots the bullet?
We have the split second when he shoots the bullet, yeah. Leave it to me! Missile, you're fucking ridiculous. Come on, game. You know that we did this already. You don't need to do this to me.
Okay, it is a lot of dialogue. We got it. Missile already said this multiple times.
Is there any way for us to cushion the fall of the hard hat so it doesn't make noise?
It's a good idea.
But Schutzel's... maybe.
There's no pillows, there's no blankets, no nothing like that. I can swap that hanging bullet. There's something else. I know! Shut the fuck up. We have infinite time. We're in Ghost Trick land. I'm just gonna swap this and see what happens. Who knows? Maybe the game is bad.
Maybe the game is bad.
Yeah, it just kills him. Okay. Yeah.
Sad.
All right, let's go back.
Was there anything else? Because there's nothing else. Okay, is there anything we could do with the kettle?
We can open and close its lid, but it's no longer on heat, so the steam doesn't matter.
And there's nothing else on the right side of the screen, right?
There's a poster and another microscope. Adrian's thing of, like, what if we... What could we cushion it with? Not much. And once the hat falls, we don't have access to anything new. So... Oh, dude, it's Gumshoe's coat. Alright. Do the knit hat. you go. You see the knit hat no longer has anything. We move this back. This is the exact same shape as the book, obviously purposefully. We can't turn the lamp on, because if we turn the lamp on, that's obviously how he's gonna notice that we've done something. Fate hasn't even changed yet. Like that's how crazy this puzzle is. Was there anything we could have set up prior to this? Cecil did not have access to anything, period, prior to him slamming his fist on the stove because we needed the kettle to get up to the desk. So we couldn't have done anything before that. There was that one moment where he had his back turned where we were able to flip the lamp around, but we still can't knock over the helmet because it makes noise. I don't know.
Can we just try? I mean, I think the obvious is gonna happen, but can we just try with the switching the thing with the knit hat with the hard hat?
What the fuck are you talking about? I already tried that twice, and it's an animation. You can't ghost trick while it's in the middle of that animation for whatever reason.
Okay, so
yeah. Because you said that, and I was like, dude, you're a genius. And as soon as I tried to do it, it was like, oh, no, you can't do that now.
That's so weird, right? Because other stuff we've been able to do.
There's been
like,
tons of stuff where you have to do stuff in the middle of animations. I super agree with you. In fact, I think that your idea should work. Like, I don't see any reason within the game why it shouldn't do that. Because you saw as the cap falls. Actually, you know what? When the cap falls, it does go to where the hard hat would land, so maybe it wouldn't make any noise. That seems
like it muffles it, like Adrian said.
Yeah, let's. You know what? Because like, does he notice this? Yeah, see, he doesn't notice this, and so we can go back to Cecil and just like zoop zop up to here, and then what happens here?
Rock. No.
Oh, what?
Still, what the fuck? That's not fair. There's a knit cap there, you bitch.
But it jumps multiple times, you know.
All right, so that didn't work. I thought that might have been like a tricky thing, but I guess not.
The ghost trick.
Yeah, I guess that's why I was like, is there anything on the right side of the room that could resemble anything? Like, what about the poster?
I was thinking maybe the poster could resemble the book, but there's no way to manipulate the book.
The other Cecil turns around in the middle of it, right? That's when we do the ladder thing.
Say it again.
Cecil turns around to look, and that's when we move the ladder right now, right? He turns around to face away from Inspector.
You're saying earlier before he gets shot?
Yeah.
That is unfortunately before he gets shot. So Cecil does not have access to the stepladder. The stepladder is too far away for Cecil to get there prior to him getting shot.
Can we access the... Maybe he won't notice the hard hat?
I already tried that. When he had his back turned, he heard the sound and turned around immediately.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Seville.
Damn, Seville, what the fuck? This is fucking stupid. What if we swapped the hat and the book twice? See how it falls down? And now it's there. Can we swap them again?
And swap again.
No, they're facing the wrong direction now.
Damn it.
Well, I can bring the book. I can bring the book over there. I don't know if this does anything, but we can. Book is now over there.
Okay, let's check to see if there's anything over here. We can't
it's all just examines.
We can only examine. I feel like we're here, you know? I feel like we're at the pinnacle.
We are here.
It's just we're missing something. What exactly are we missing?
we're obviously missing something like really tricky because like man, I really wish we had fucking potato order because this is exactly what would have happened with the heart attack puzzle if we didn't have potato order here.
Sheer heart attack.
We're like stuck.
Because it's got to be like a very specific logical thing that the game designers had in mind that is just like not logically meshing with us right now.
Does the top of the lamp have the same shape as the hard hat?
The lamp, both joints. And by the way, Adrian, no, not right now. We'll give it a little bit more time. Maybe if we don't have any inspiration within 10 minutes, sure. Because that'll be when Grant leaves, and I don't want him to see us cheating.
God forbid.
Both nodes of the lamp share the same shape, which is the lamp shape.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I don't know if the top of the lamp is different from the bottom of the lamp.
Yeah. I think I think this is already fucked because I already did the knit cap and it just fell. So I think this no longer. I don't think anything works anymore, which is sad. But I'm just trying to think. I can't think of nothing, man. Can't swap it with the book again because it gets flipped to the other direction. Moving the step ladder to the other side doesn't make any fucking sense, dude.
There's nothing at the bottom, like underneath.
We can't go back to the exploded room.
No, because there's only like one or two things I see that we can access, but that they still their shapes are still like eh.
The stuff down there is very specific shapes, yeah. Both the Missile and Cecil are in the same lamp. Man, I really think it's I don't know. I tried doing both of Saba's ideas and the game just said no. But the idea is so specific and feels so appropriate for what the game has been doing thus far that I'm more baffled that the game is blocking me from doing it.
Yeah, because like we tried timing it when he does it and that still doesn't work.
Like I guess Cecil and Missile. That's true. The only thing I can think of, because maybe the game is super ridiculously obtuse, right? Maybe it's swapping the book with the knitted hat at literally the last second. So that way when Missile catches it. Because I already tried that, but I guess I was off maybe. I could have been off.
Go ahead. Go for it. I would say try.
I'd have to restart, but... There we go. Let's go back. Ghost trick. It is I, the ghost trick. Thank goodness this step ladder doesn't have a squeaky wheel. Can you imagine how fucking annoying that would be? Can't do the hard hat, can't do this. Alright. In that case, so we're here. Everything's in place, kinda. I'm gonna fucking slot 5, just cause fuck it. I don't know if I can get any closer than that. Like, look at the hourglass, dude.
That's gone.
Do you do it?
Pray, I guess. No, because there's like so much time. The thing spins, and it's like this doesn't make any sense. I'll still do it, but
I mean, you did as I say, right? So. Yep.
Fucking literally could not have got closer.
Wait, with the lamp spun to the right, it wouldn't land on the lamp either, right?
The lamp is presently spun to the right.
No, I know. So that didn't do anything else. That's so frustrating because it feels like, oh, well, maybe it should have been able to catch on the lamp, right?
Kinda, I guess, but But if that's the circumstance, we'd have to start from the very beginning again. We would have had to have, like, because you can't spin the lamp while Cecil's looking in that direction, and he only turns around once. You know?
The thing is, I feel like we already tried doing this with the lamp to the right as well, but I'm not sure. I can't recall.
I'm assuming you mean left. Because it's to the right now.
Yeah, but he flipped it, right? It was originally to the left.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was originally to the left, and then we flipped it, and then regardless of whether or not it's flipped left or right, he spins it once and then hits the thing.
Yeah.
So it still doesn't catch the knitted cap.
We're struggling.
We're struggling.
You know what? I don't necessarily want to deprive Grant of the catharsis of quote unquote solving the puzzle. So Adrian, I'm gonna say go ahead.
So
he already did.
Yeah, I did, because I was
great.
getting tired of listening to this. So this may be frustrating to you, but you are supposed to knock over the hat after he turns out the first time when it's out of his view. Because while he does turn around, he's not exactly sure what happened, so he doesn't do anything about it.
You're shitting me. So he does the exclamation point. So it's the same thing in Ace Attorney where they do the fake out where it's like, oh, it's wrong, but it's actually not wrong.
Yeah, this puzzle is basically, hey, don't save scum our game, please.
Damn it. Okay. All right.
I guess it was a little bit on our part for not like actually seeing
that was definitely
through.
our bad, but also fuck you.
Okay, so we gotta go back.
Yeah.
Back in time.
I literally, it's doing all of the fucking text again. Fuck you, game. Dude, the FPS is 4 times faster, and it's still taking this long to get through text. Please, game. Mercy. Okay, let's go back down. Fucking just stop.
Let's keep on talking.
I'm actively just trying to swap with the hard hat so I can crush his face. It's so fucked. Like, at least it didn't like pulverize his skull.
I mean, are we sure about that?
Well, as in, like, he's not a bloody pulp.
pulverized.
I know, I get it. Okay. All right. Let's do it again. Because why not? Going up. Yes, hello, missile. I see you there. Yes. Have fun, yes. Fucking. Oh, look at the sand. This is what everybody's hourglasses look like when they smoke.
When they smoke?
Yeah, because it's killing them.
Well, yeah.
He's like, rah, villain speech. And then he spins. Monologue. Cecil gets into the hat, knocks it over. What was that?
What was it?
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, so now I'm assuming the cap will just,
it'll just catch
onto the
just
thing.
catch on the coat hanger.
That hurts me. We were right here.
We were right here. All right, well, that's how the cookie crumbles, you know.
What if one of the times he didn't get back up and he just stayed there and it's like, game over, you did it.
You did it. Congratulations. The manipulator lost his abilities.
Yeah.
How? We don't know.
Gun.
Gun. Like all things. Gun is the
All
end.
things
Back to
gun.
gun. We did it. We saved Christmas.
All Things Gun is the name of the U.S. Army support page on Facebook.
Little does Inspector Carvana know, but his gun destroys ghosts, but only when a stepladder has been moved recently in the nearby vicinity.
Fucking-
Yay.
It's really clever though, the idea of catching a bullet in midair and just swapping it with something soft.
It's insane. And unfortunately, I have to be going.
Give it like 2 seconds, Grant. We're about to do it. We're like right here. I don't want to rob you of this.
Everything. I've lost everything. My house.
I forgot that there was so much text.
My car.
Again.
Cute shape. We get it. We get it.
Once again,
Model.
it's just gonna be a knit hat, and he's gonna be like, oh, okay, let's just shoot again.
Swap. Yay.
Yeah.
Maybe he can't see.
Because the
Maybe he
body's
thinks
all
he got-
flipped over?
Yeah.
And it
No, he just
moves so
look-
fast.
wait,
No, he just
what?
looks at him.
He can't see. He thinks he's dead.
I don't think he knows.
noticed. What? Fuck this
That
game.
is
All right,
ridiculous.
well, goodbye, Grant.
He's wearing
See you for
shades
stream
and
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah, see you later.
Farewell. That's what you get for wearing shades indoors, I guess.
Yeah.
It's true. God, so it was so fast that Cannabella, because Cannabella, I don't think it hurt him at all, right? Do you think he just instinctively knew to like oversell?
Maybe.
I mean, he
I'm thinking,
oversells
like-
everything he does, so like,
Exactly.
it's natural.
It's also
Looks like you
still
pulled off another
looking kinda
magic
gun.
disappearing act.
No, say again. I love knit hats. So warm and most of all soft. Except when it's going 700 miles an hour to my face.
Did I do it all right?
You did a fine job, Lit. You saved another life.
Did anyone see if Siebel still has our gun or put it away, or where's the gun?
I think he put the gun in his pocket.
Wait, is that it on the table in front of the phone?
Oh,
Maybe.
lying down? Potentially.
Maybe.
And I'll keep doing it too. Over and over.
Over and over. Just like what we just did.
What I saw in just 4 minutes gave me all the answers I've been looking for.
Our research of these past 10 years pales in comparison, right, Professor?
So you two were working together?
Not about the size of it, yeah. Who would believe a story about a manipulator? So we pursued it ourselves, just the two of us.
I'm quite a crazy character myself, after all. Saba is unconscious presently.
Okay. I'm sorry, the over and over again. I was still going on in my mind. Okay, let's
Saba.
run it back to our time.
Saba got smashed with a knit cap at 700 miles per hour.
Oh!
Yeah, sorry. We have to rescue Miss Camila.
You're right, Missile. Let's go, Saber. And there's a certain guy I have to follow too. Yeah, this guy.
Someone that looks kind of like me.
Kinda.
I look a little bit like him. I guess his body is blocking his face, so you don't.
It's
you
just
don't
weird
see
because,
the
like, from
knit.
our perspective, like, because the game is 2D, it's really hard to tell in a 3D space where things are, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why did the special prison have hatches that just led to the next floor down that just covered the entire hallway?
Security.
That's the anti-security. After completing his revenge on Inspector Cattywampus, the man in red left. And now a new story is about to unfold in a new present. Get up! How are you feeling, you old crazy character?
Hey there, Prof. We're both alive, I see. Yeah, nothing like it, baby. But I don't know if I'm getting old or what. I've got a few aches and pains here and there. Yeah, it's just my old, not the explosion that happened earlier. Used to be a little things like an explosion won't bother me.
Yeah, but like you have fucking broken bones, dude.
Nah, dude, it's part of the job.
Yeah, right. Like I'm going to believe that. So what? The guy in red is gone, eh?
Just in case, I posted special investigation units all around the building. Let's just say the boys came through for us.
They certainly did not.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't get up. He's still broken.
Damn it, you picked a bad time not to listen to me, body of mine.
Wouldn't that be fucked if he just couldn't dance forever?
Oh no, that's in my spirit. If I can't
talk
dance,
to them, right? Just chit chat.
Maybe. Yeah.
No reason to not.
Dude, what if you just like in like form is like, hey, I'm feeling real woozy, and they just bled out.
It's like,
like
oh
internal bleeding. Oh, if I knew things were going to end up like this, I would have tried to die in that explosion, maybe. That way I could have been dancing after the big red by now.
I might be able to erase deaths, but it's true that I can't do much about injuries. But really, you shouldn't talk like that.
Yeah, sorry. I suppose you're right. I just hate feeling so helpless. He was right there within my grasp. All our plans were resting on tonight, and then this had to happen.
I guess he's thinking about his spotless record.
So when he was referencing, before that, he's
Something
like,
was happening tonight.
Yeah, this is what he was talking about.
Whereas the Blue Man Group was referring to something else.
Maybe, yeah.
Actually, that's a good point, because Elvis, his quote-unquote thing that was happening tonight was just inspecting the body of Cecil?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Well, no, So, like, if you recall, the doctor was gonna take, I think, Cecil's body directly to, I don't know, wherever evil Cecil,
right, and then Inspector Elvis paid him off so that way he delivered it to the superintendent's basement instead. Yes, but
so then they could try to like catch him, I guess.
But he couldn't possibly have planned this ahead of time, right? Because he didn't know about anything that was going to happen.
Yeah, but I guess they also didn't know the exact 100% true nature of what he could do, so I guess they underestimated him.
I suppose so. It's not too late, Inspector. We still have a chance. Maybe I can catch him.
Hey, you're right. That's not a bad idea. I'll cooperate with you fully. Now go ahead and fire away with any questions you like, Mr. Ghost.
Oh, God. Do we want to do this?
Well,
Do I really care about Cannabella?
I mean, the walkthrough said to go through all the dialogue options.
Fuck. This guy mentioned revenge. Revenge against the people who stole his life away 10 years ago. He's a fool. He's the one who made the decision to take that little girl hostage, and he wound up dead. He only has himself to blame. But what about when he said this?
By the way, we have 3 tricking segments left.
Oh, in the whole game.
Okay, so it seems like we'll probably finish on Friday? No. We only did 1 tricking segment today. That being said, we did take an hour to catch everybody up on what happened, so.
True.
I was murdered by all of you. Detective Joe who forced me into a corner. Lynn, the girl who was playing in the park. This is a different
Just
voice.
so happened to be there.
This is a different voice.
Her fault.
Growly.
I have no idea where this voice came from, but I'm gonna stick with it for a while.
This is Raiden from Metal Gear Revengeance after killing Sundowner.
Prime Minister.
I will say that I think it's funny reading the walkthrough because, like, it's really hard to imagine anything happening because there's no context, and also it's like, next part, switch the sweet potato for the canned food, and it's like, what? Why? What does that do? Any context whatever. There's no plot spoilers, so.
... Yes, 10 years ago, on that day, the Special Investigations Unit was working on a certain big case. We hauled in a young man, an important witness to our investigation. And then I did it. I made 2 very stupid mistakes. Hey, forgot to do my hair.
Detective, I'm telling you, I don't know anything about it.
Unless this is Cecil?
This is Cecil before he died, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fine. You're under no obligation to talk, of course. But if you don't, the Special Investigation Unit can make the rest of your life a living hell.
No. Bullshit. But I... Oh.
I've just been assigned to the Special Investigation Unit, you see. They didn't care much info on big cases with a newbie like me yet, and I wanted to impress them. It was only supposed to be a simple matter of taking his statements. Then I was too green. Pushed him too hard, drove him to a corner, and made him lose all hope. That was my first mistake. Then I made another mistake on top of that.
I mixed a bunch of incompatible ingredients in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, mistake.
Can't believe it. My perfect record.
Also, Paper Mario, I did that in those games too, because it was the exact same mechanic.
True.
I don't know if you can tell, but I'm real bad at cooking.
This is Jode, so I think Adrian hasn't had a single speaking line tonight.
What was Joe's voice again?
Deep, fatherly.
Okay, Cabanella, got a minute?
That's fine.
The chief wants to see about your report.
Got it. I'll be right there.
Why did you leave him unsupervised?
You see it right here and be a good boy now.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we could do that later.
This has to be Cannabella?
And that's when I did it. I left it behind in the interrogation room.
What the fuck? What?
My God! Oh, Keva.
So he's stupid.
Sava never lava, you
That is
fool.
definitely a stupid thing.
That is
definitely stupid.
the stupidest thing that the game has done so far. And I don't mean stupid like, wow, that's crazy. A meteor killed that guy. No, like this is actually criminally stupid, and he should have lost his job.
Yeah.
How could you?
He used my gun to escape. What he said is true. If I hadn't made that mistake, he never would have had a gun to point at Lynn in the first place. He first found out about the manipulator's existence during a certain overseas communication.
Overseas communication.
For national security purposes, this country keeps tabs on the communications networks. This particular communication was about making a deal with a certain foreign country. Said he wanted to buy. He wanted them to buy him and his powers. That's how we first heard about him. Of course, we didn't know what he looked like at the time. And in order to prove these powers of his, he gave them 2 predictions. He first saw 2 completely preposterous, impossible cases. The first case is a police officer leaving a gun in the interrogation room.
Oh, he manipulated the rock star and the food guy?
Oh. So that's why these
That's
seem
pretty
important.
steep. That's
Wow.
a pretty steep thing to just explain in this way. Man, the manipulator is kind of nuts.
I mean, we still haven't discovered why he's been alive for 10 years. I
We
think,
still haven't
yeah,
explained
already
that. That
it's
is
pretty
true.
nuts.
But the idea, I don't know, but the idea of him just being able to just completely control somebody's body, and like, you saw what it looked like when he manipulated the prime minister or whatever, right? Where he was like shaky and jerky the whole time. So it's like, does the manipulator? Because remember, the rock star did a song. He played well. People liked the show because they came out to watch him and they were like, dude, this was great. So does the manipulator just know how to play guitar?
Hey,
Yeah,
Lawrence,
Yeah.
real quick, as an artist, what does the silhouette say to you?
Fucking evil. Relaxed,
Squares.
Overconfident.
confident.
I was gonna say long head.
That's true.
That too.
You know
He looks
what?
a little too much like Sausage Guy right now, and I don't like it.
He looks like a
know what
banana
this,
wearing a
you know what
suit.
this reminds me of? You could say it first if you'd like, Lawrence. I don't know if you were gonna say
Banana wearing
something.
a suit? I said banana wearing a suit.
Banana wearing a suit. It reminds me of this. But with like a really small mouth. It reminds.
That's funny.
It reminds me of Minish Cap, but with a really small mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Do you ever see this?
Did I say this?
Nah, just
Is
say it again.
Oh, I did not. The case of a man who would sing national secrets during a live concert broadcast.
Oh my god.
And the case
There's
of
a
a
race
man
turning
who
character.
would take the chief commissioner hostage in his own office.
He goes, goofy.
Those two inmates in the special prison, eh?
Yeah, tell me about this third person with a weird fucking head. We kept tabs on their communications and launched an investigation.
Adrian, what have you just sent?
It's an ace turning character. Yeah, my days in Apollo Justice. His name is Spark Brushel.
He looks so happy.
He looks like the
Is he a
worst.
dentist?
He looks like the human version of SpongeBob SquarePants.
I was gonna say he looks like the worst version of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Worst version of
He's not a dentist. He's a reporter.
All right.
He's also a notary.
And finally, we pinpointed where they were going to meet tonight and staked it out.
The chicken kitchen, yeah.
The manipulator plans on leaving this country tonight on a submarine that belongs to the other country in this deal.
Submarine?
Well, we haven't been able to find out where it's going to surface. But terrifying to think what would happen if his powers were to fall into their hands.
Right. Highly unlikely they'd use him for peaceful purposes.
For people purposes. Now they have that little girl as a hostage.
Camilla.
We have to stop him before he leaves the country.
This spotless record of yours, is it really that important to you?
Of course, baby. In some ways, it's more important to me than my life.
What the fuck are you talking about? You have an enormous spot on your record.
Is there something important about him specifically, having no spots on his record?
Oh my god, I can make that go away.
Oh my god.
Listen, Grant's not here to push back against this, so I'm gonna have to say keep going.
That's fucked.
In your life, eh?
After all, because of my record, I'm able to get my hands on all intel as head of the Special Investigation Units, and because of my position, I get to direct all aspects of the investigation into the manipulator case.
The manipulator case? That's why you care about your record so much? I mean, okay.
Of course. Why else, baby?
The motivations
So
of these
he's
things
not
are
doing
weird.
it for Jode, he's doing it because it's the manipulator.
he's doing it because it's the only way that he can stay on top of the resources needed to pin the manipulator, I guess.
So okay, his motivation was manipulator, not for Joe's sake.
No, he didn't even care that he confessed. There was definitely something with the secret, I think.
So if his record is spotless, did it never get out that it was his gun the guy used to escape?
Guess not.
I guess. Oh, well, yeah, because I guess Jode, because remember, him and Jode are friends. So I guess Jode never told anyone that it was his gun. And Jode never had to shoot anybody because it was just a fucking meteor that killed the guy. Real specific. Sorry, I'm just fucking with Adrian's levels real quick. All right.
I finally found my answers. It took 5 long years, though. The manipulator is going to prove that Jode is innocent.
What invincible determination. No. There's one thing I just don't understand. Adrian, please stop. This is an awful character. This is an awful character.
I don't know. I love him.
Oh no!
This is a vile character.
Would you say he's better or worse than Hot Dog Head?
Much worse.
Oh,
really?
wow.
I think Hot Dog Head's worse.
I don't mind Hot Dog Head as much. This guy seems like I would wake up in the middle of the night and he would be there silhouetted in the corner of my room, just chattering with his teeth.
You don't like the idea of this guy brushing his teeth in court?
No, certainly not. If you were so determined to help Detective Jode, then why did you arrest him? Yes, exactly. Why didn't you help him escape from prison?
That's an easy one, baby. Escaping from prison is a crime.
True.
Alright, pretty based.
Technically consistent, but you know.
I was allowed to help him commit a crime after spending 5 years trying to prove him innocent.
I feel like you probably could have talked about this at some point to Jode, right? Because if he's been working on this for 10 years, I know he said like, oh, they'll never believe me. It's like a manipulator or whatever. You could at least have said, because Cannabella didn't know that we were in the phone, right? When Detective Jode got arrested. There's no reason for him to be like, hey, I'm just going to take you in so that way you don't actually commit a crime. Why wouldn't he just say that?
All part of the plan, baby.
Baby?
And he himself asked to be executed, you know. As a man of the law, I had to make sure the execution was stopped legally. And that's why I brought him before the Justice Minister, too. I needed to buy as much time as I possibly could, baby.
It's so funny because it's like, this is all complete horse shit. Like, this is definitely not how it was written. Like it feels like this is being written as we play it, because it's super obvious every time before this he was just doing it for like his reputation and stuff like that, and now it's like, oh, actually I was protecting my friend. It's like, you see, I ate all of Adrian's gummy worms because I didn't want him to get sick.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Did you get sick?
No, I'm larger than him, so I could handle the extra sugar.
Oh, okay.
You see? It seemed like a really dickhead thing to do in the moment, but now that I'm giving you exposition, it was actually me being a hero. Obviously, it's a joke, but that's literally what's happening. So that's it, eh? But there's one little unfortunate result of all this. Lynn completely misunderstood your intentions.
A little misunderstanding. My baby will come around. Give it time.
Yeah, but she was also gonna get fucking arrested. I guess that's independent of saving Jode, right? Her getting arrested because of the security cam footage.
Maybe. But there are more important things to do with our time tonight. We done?
why we spent 30 minutes.
I mean, this was a lot of information, for
It's
sure.
been a while since we've seen Lynn, huh?
Yeah.
We saw her at the park, and then we fucking immediately left to come here. Right? I think? No.
Yeah.
We talked to Lynn, and then we went back to the Prime Minister's office, and then from there went here. So
Yes.
it's actually only been like one trick time since we saw her. Mr. Superintendent,
Oh,
I have stolen
Superintendent.
your voice. Do you mind if I talk to you for a minute? I haven't always been a junkyard superintendent, you know. I used to be part of the police.
I mean, that makes sense.
Police, huh? Not as a detective, but as a medical examiner. I investigated victims' cause of death. 10 years ago, I was asked to autopsy a strange corpse. Hit by a meteor fragment and died instantly, is what the police report said. So I looked at him, and then he looked at me, and I was like, what? And then he was like, yes. There were no signs of life. He was definitely dead. Isn't this the medical examination room of the special prison?
Oh, you're becoming robotic, Zach.
Or is he? He sound fine to me.
Oh, maybe it's just me. Everybody's turning robotic.
That is definitely you. You might want to take a moment to log out of Discord and then come back.
I think
Thanks for the prescription, Doc. Thanks for the prescription,
It's
Doc.
my diagnosis. I didn't prescribe anything that would lead me to be accountable.
Yikes.
Can't you be accountable for a diagnosis too, though?
No, we're not on the clock.
That's not a... Okay.
I can only be accountable if I'm being paid to diagnose you. What's a little diagnosis between friends?
Yeah, it's a little diagnosis between friends.
There were no signs of
Listen,
life. Saber, are you all set?
I think, yeah, I said it fixed itself.
Are you good? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
why
I
do you
only
sound like
diagnosed that he
sound
didn't
like a
need all
robot?
his money with a gun.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That was a good noise. He was definitely dead. But I never filed an autopsy report. That's because the corpse suddenly vanished, leaving behind only one clue. An unusual corpse. Oh shit, unusual corpse. I guess that's what I've been chasing all night. Could you tell me more? Yeah, sure. I don't know why you interrupted me. I could have just continued my thought. I have an interest in you recovering your memory and finding your true identity, too. Holy shit, there's so much.
I've already found your identity. You are a cat.
I think so. I think he's a cat. There's only one way I can describe it. Two, it was an unusual corpse. He was dead, all right, no question about that. But there wasn't a scratch on him. He got hit by a fucking space rock, Doc. What are you talking about?
Has Missile shown any signs of like wanting to like chase us down or anything like that? Has there been any foreshadowing about that?
The only foreshadowing I can think of is the fact that Missile's screen is green, and on the color wheel, the opposite of green is red. And beyond that, the cat that I referred to has shown up exactly twice. Once at the very beginning when Lynn found our body on the couch for the first time, and then once on the security cam footage when it hopped out of our luggage. That was it. Not a scratch, but I thought he was hit by a meteorite fragment.
Yeah,
I don't understand it any more than you do.
Zach understands it. It's called JoJo.
I do. They turned it into an arrowhead.
I was gonna say, what was there some screaming super evolved person on the other end of the meteor?
The meteor turned into arrows that gave powers.
Well, you see, the meteor was summoned by Aerith. in order to try and save Grand Gaia. That's a Final Fantasy reference. Anyway,
Sephiroth?
Nice.
didn't
I don't know.
who you know, now I think about it, in FF7, who summoned the meteor? Because wasn't that the thing? Was that the meteor was supposed to miss them by like 100 million miles or whatever, and then someone fucking curved it towards the planet? Was that Sephiroth?
I never played that game. All I know is that Sephiroth can cast meteor in that game, and that's all I know.
That is true. But I was completely bewildered. But when I tried to autopsy him, I was even more puzzled. I couldn't perform the autopsy. You couldn't? What do you mean? The scalpel went in, but it didn't cut. So that's why the corpse got blown back so much with a simple bullet, because the bullet couldn't actually pierce his skin. It just fucking impacted all of the force onto his body, throwing him instead of piercing.
That's funky.
Could you imagine if you had like a spell cast on you? You're like, ha! I cast stone skin. You can't fucking touch me now. And somebody just pulled out a gun like, well, sorry for you. This is going to be bludgeoning damage now. It's like, ah!
That reminds me of the that one like monkey's paw superpower I made up where like you're invincible to damage, but every time you take damage, you are ragdolled for amount of time commensurate to the damage.
Corresponding to the damage, yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Scalpel went in, but it didn't cut. As soon as I tried to make an incision, it would heal up in the very instant. Very next instant. And that's how it went. And no scarring or blood either. Yeah, dude, this guy is kind of crazy. This guy is insane.
I mean, he's got a bird on his head, you know?
No. I'm saying, like, the manipulator is so astronomically more powerful than either of the other ghost trickers that we've seen so far. You know what I mean?
And we still have to, like, who is Ray in all of this?
I still think that Ray is us from the end of the game, having gone back to the beginning to give us a jump start.
Okay.
I still think that. Well, because you remember... Oh, shit! You just reminded me, Ray was the one who told us what we looked like.
Oh.
He's like, that's your body up there?
Yeah, because remember at the beginning, we were just a little floating spirit ball, and then Ray shows up in the form, like Ray wasn't anybody yet, he was just a voice, and he was like, hey, you there, lying there. So Ray was the one who told us that that's what we looked like. I think we're the fucking cat.
Why did he tell us to do that, though?
Because Ray is us. It's like a time loop situation where I think at the end of the game, we're going to have the opportunity somehow to go all the way back to the beginning of the game and set up our own time loop, because otherwise the cat would have just been a cat, you know? It would have just like drifted around not knowing what to do. I never had a chance to solve the mystery.
That's because the corpse up and vanished on us.
The morgue is well guarded. What the fuck kind of accent was that? Nobody could have stolen the body. But there is one way the corpse could have disappeared. What's that? It could have walked away.
On its own 2 feet.
It's the same animation as before.
What about the guards you literally just mentioned? You know, stop them.
Would they not have recognized the fact that there was a dude who was just like walking away?
No, he turned all the lights.
He got up, opened the door, and walked out on his own. Not very well guarded in the slightest, by the way. He was dead, but he wasn't dead.
I guess the guards are those bumbling, like, guys that were trying to fix the electric chair that's made of, like codename Tina, like,
codename Signator 2x4 technology.
Yeah.
like in classic K&D style, instead of it being like a normal electric chair that's like plugged into the wall or something, it's powered by a bunch of blenders that when you turn them on, spin a bunch of stuff which generates magnetism to generate more electricity than they take in somehow, thus making an infinite like energy chair, and then when you ask the kids about it, the kids are like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah, when you ask the kids what they do with it, they're like, "Oh, we execute people with it. We kill people with it,
and we blend up their remains. They make a nice smoothie."
Yeah,
All right, that's
also
fucking
cannibals.
dark.
That's the HBO remake.
That's Sector V for vampire. Actually, now that I think about it, I think Sector V is literally the main character's sector, so that's stupid. Sorry. And he didn't even feel it when he slammed his fist on that stove. The corpse left behind some data from testing I did. Got some readings from some kind of radiation coming off that body. Radiation. I used all kinds of instruments, but I couldn't determine exactly what the radiation was. Some kind of undiscovered type from a world unknown.
Wait, an alien.
Could it be? That's right. It was coming from that meteor fragment.
So, Jojo wins in the end, huh?
Jojo wins
Fucking
in the
told
end.
you, dude.
Was what I'm being
Saba,
told,
I'm
Jojo.
glad you said that yourself, Saba.
I know, because I think eventually Zach would have said it, so I'd rather just take the damage
We
now,
literally
rather than
already
him
said
rub it
it.
in my face.
To be
okay.
fair, JoJo isn't the only story in which meteors have great plot significance, because that's also Homestuck.
Yeah, but Homestuck's not real, and also there's a much more important.
Everyone knows.
There's a much more important story than either of these that involves a meteor. Dinosaurs. You know.
True.
I think it's pretty important to recognize dinosaurs.
This guy's a T-Rex secretly. That's where his powers come from.
That's why his nose looks like that. That's why he has such stubby arms. I went to the park and tested the spot where the meteorite fell. And just as I expected. Hey, Lawrence, you never actually read part 7, right?
I have not.
You'll read it one day, I'm sure.
One day.
Where I just want to point out that, like, you read the ending of part 6, so you know
Correct.
that stuff happens at the end of part 6.
Stuff did happen.
Something did happen, so it wouldn't be surprising for me to tell you that part 7 takes place someplace completely new, right?
Yes.
Like, that makes sense. I've described that to you in the past, but without the context
Many
that you now
times.
have. So, in mainline JoJo, people get their stands from the arrows, right? Or they're naturally born with them. That's normally how it works. Did I ever describe to you how people get their stands in part 7?
For meteors?
Well, okay, this is where things get a little weird. It's kind of meteors, but it's mostly Jesus.
Or Jesus, yeah.
It's mostly Jesus.
Sure, why not, Zach?
So the thing is that the way that it works, bear with me, just because I love telling this part, because it's fucking insane. They recently, in part 8, well, I say recently, it was a couple months ago, but in part 8, they talked about it, because part 8 takes place in the same place as part 7, right? Obviously. So in part 8, they described that a couple 100,000 years ago, a meteor hit the planet Earth and killed all the dinosaurs, right? Turns out that similar to fucking Pokemon, there were alien microbes that were on that meteor. And those microbes started infusing themselves and incorporating themselves into certain organic life on Earth, similar to what mitochondria did. If you don't know, mitochondria used to be bacteria that then integrated themselves into animal DNA, turning it into what we see today. So these microbes did the exact same thing, but with like a different branch of the biological tree. And that would eventually, many thousands of years later, evolve into rock humans, which are the main bad guys of part 8. But before that happened, well, before part 8 happened, obviously, back in the year 0, I guess, a young man was born who was a rock human. He was a rock human, and he just so happened to be born with the ability to purify the souls of other living beings. He could do it to animals, he could even do it to trees, but he mostly did it to people. That man was Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah, dog.
And all of his disciples, including Judas, all had stands because he purified their souls. When he was crucified and then came back to life 3 days later, once again, also because of his stand ability, he then decided that the European continent wasn't really doing much for him. He didn't really like it. And he heard stories from Scandinavian Vikings that there was actually another landmass across the sea, and he could go there and start a new life, start a new teaching. So he did. This is the basis of Mormonism.
What? I feel like me and Lawrence and Saba are like help staff in like an old home, and Zach's in
And
his
I'm going
wheelchair.
insane. I can't even begin to describe you how accurate this is, though. I'm actually being very accurate. So
All right,
he
Zach,
goes.
let's get you your oatmeal.
So he goes to
oatmeal.
he goes to the United States, and he slowly makes his way from the East Coast to the West Coast, touching and going to several different like natural landmarks that the Native Americans like informed him of. He learned to like love the American continent. He loved it there. He eventually, when he hit Utah, declared that to be his holy land, which is what Mormonism is, right? He declared that to be his holy land, told a bunch of people to make their pilgrimage there, and then decided to keep going. He just kept going to the West Coast. He then stopped in the area that would eventually be like the LA, San Francisco-ish area, like kind of in between there, sort of. And he eventually grew old and died. Apparently, his stand, which technically is still unnamed to this day, but I'm choosing to call it 3 Days Grace. His stand ability had two parts. It was to purify the souls of people who followed him, right, as you know. And then also, if he died prematurely, he would come back to life after 3 days. This apparently would happen all the fucking time. He apparently was a huge klutz and would constantly like fall and break his neck, or like he would starve in the middle of a desert or dehydrate in the middle of a desert, and then 3 days later he would just come back and then dehydrate again. So he was constantly dying. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. So he gets really old, and he's like, he goes to his latest disciple. It's a Mormon disciple. He goes to his latest disciple and he's like, listen, I'm going to die. I am old. I'm going to die. But before I die, I don't want my stand to disappear. I still want it to do good and purify the souls of our followers. So what I want you to do is I want you to knock me the fuck out, chop me into 13 pieces, go back to all of those natural landmarks that I visited on my way to the West Coast, bury them there, and tell everybody that those are holy sites where they can go to be purified. And that's where stands come from.
And can we take a step back and
Absolutely.
how did we get to this topic? How did we go from Ghost Trick
Zach,
to
it's
Go-Go?
bedtime. Let's get you into your nightgown.
This all came because in the like prior to part 6, it was a meteorite that fell, and then they chopped it into, like, they carved it into arrowheads, and that's how stands came from. I just wanted to point out that in part 7 and part 8, it's still a meteor. Instead of it being arrows, though, it's Jesus. And I just think that that's great, and I just wanted to tell the story.
Okay, good job, Jesus. Let's get back to it.
Let's get back
Listen,
to your room, Zach.
I gotta say that it is
You've
a
had outside
fantastic
time.
story.
It
Please
was
hit your
the
own
exact same pattern of radiation that was of the corpse.
What if the meteor in this was evil Jesus?
That's also in
That still
JoJo,
sounds
but I'm
JoJo.
not going to get into it.
Oh no! I can never escape.
Anything you say, Saba, will always be JoJo.
I don't.
You know what? You know what? I
I
actually want to do something kind of fun.
Oh,
Saba,
boy.
say something crazy.
Oh no.
Do it. Just anything crazy. I want to see if I can connect it to JoJo.
What could be?
It has to be coherent, but make it crazy, make it insane.
I don't know, space. But like,
that's too vague. There's a ton of stands that have to do with space. There's literally a stand called Planet Waves where the guy manipulates meteorite fragments to crash into specific locations to kill people.
I don't think I can go crazy enough. You're asking me to on the spot right now. Can you ask?
Adrian, you go. Substitute for Saba. Give me something crazy.
Snake gun.
Snake gun. There's a stand called White Snake who has a gun.
I'm about to say it's the famous picture of
it's the famous picture of White Snake holding a gun to a bird carrying a CD. Yeah. So there you go. God. Snake gun. That was, I don't know if Adrian did that on purpose. That was too easy. One more, just one more.
I can
is there Atlantis?
There is Atlantis, actually.
Of course.
Atlantis post part 6 when it's like the place where part 7 and part 8 like take place. Atlantis used to be a civilization of rock humans because they live like 3 or 4 times longer than like humans do. And if they get injured, they just go dormant and turn into rocks until they heal. So they were able to develop into this like super hyper advanced civilization and invented nuclear weaponry eons ahead of humans did. And then that destroyed their civilization. And that's why like Atlantis is a myth and died.
All right, I got one. Woman that isn't treated pervily by Iraqi.
Okay, listen. There's a lot of that. I could give you any number. In fact, I made reference to that in the JoJo tier list that we did. So come on, give me a real one. I remember, like, in the JoJo tier list, I felt morally obligated to censor out fucking Yukako's cleavage because it's like, dude, she's fucking 15. Like, I know that in Japan things are a little different, but also that's still gross. She's a child. I don't care how you draw her. That's a 15-year-old.
Important guy wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
Important guy wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
I mean,
funny enough, it's actually the jeans that are the hardest.
There you go. You have to be normal, right?
It has to be normal. It has to not be crazy. Now that I think about it, because I'm just trying to think. There's tons of characters that just wear t-shirts, right?
Has anyone had a birthday party?
Yes, there are several birthday parties in JoJo.
Okay.
How about light switch that kills you?
That's literally a stand, and you have to know that.
I was looking at the corner of the room next to my door. There's a light switch. And I was like, "What's the light switch that kills you?"
You're lying. You have to know that that's a stand because that is way too specific.
No, I don't. I'm looking at my light switch, right? I can see it from my computer screen.
Give me a second. I can't even begin to tell you because it also just so happens to be one of the most popular characters ever.
What?
Say hello to Mariah Carey and her stand Bastet, the fucking outlet with a light switch on it.
Oh my god. JoJo hurts me on a physical level.
How about convenience store that kills you?
Kinda. Is
there something?
Part 8 leaves. Give me a second. I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name of the stand. Yeah, here it is. So there's a stand by the name of Les Burrells. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but the stand is an actual street. And part of the street is a convenience store that if you enter the convenience store, you're not allowed to leave until you have no money.
Is there something with watching paint dry on a wall?
Is there a part where watching paint dry on a wall? Kinda. There's a guy in part 8. What I think his name is Citrus or Vitamin C. Vitamin C. Let me see. Yeah. Vitamin C. Here you go. So Vitamin C is a stand that is kind of what you're talking about because the fight starts with watching paint dry. The idea is that a lot of the stands in part 8 are just like passive. They don't actively do much in battle. They just kind of have a passive effect on the environment around them. So Vitamin C has this thing where he has like these spectral hands that go out and they just start drooping the environment, like melting it around you. And so initially, what happens is the main character that's fighting this guy is just staring at a wall. And it's not watching paint dry, it's watching paint suddenly become wet.
Right.
Interesting. It's reverse watching paint
How about
dry.
Hard to Destroy Reptile?
Say what?
How about Hard to Destroy Reptile?
Okay, now you're just talking about SCP stuff because you're into it, which we could talk about at a later time. But
I'm curious if there's in JoJo.
Is there?
What's the crossover in SCP and JoJo?
JoJo
Crossover.
reptile. I think there's a reptile in JoJo.
But is it hard to destroy?
There's not really any super de facto reptiles. There's a guy who turns into a reptile, but I can't necessarily show you that because that'd be spoilers for Lawrence. The main character of JoJo's Part 5 has the ability to turn objects into living things. So in theory, he could turn something into a lizard, and then that lizard would now have the ability to reflect any damage that it takes. So I guess that counts.
Okay.
How's that sound? Does that sound good?
I mean, no, Zach, it doesn't. I want a better one tomorrow on my desk by 3 p.m. in triple.
I can give you another hard to destroy reptile. There's a turtle. Once again, one of my favorite.
Is this the president
users.
one?
Sorry.
Is this the president one? That's like the Oval Office or some shit?
Yeah. Well, so the name of the turtle stand is Mr. President, but the turtle's name is Coco Jumbo. And the way that the stand works is that he has a little slot in the back of his shell where if you slide a ruby key into there, the jewel on the ruby key has an entire room in it, which is air conditioned or heated, depending on what you need. It has a mini fridge that's always stocked up on stuff. It gets cable. Like, it has a TV with cable in it. You also get Wi-Fi, which is pretty cool.
Does it get an electricity bill? Or a Wi-Fi bill?
I don't know. They don't talk about it. They're all criminals, so I don't really think they care about paying bills.
Well, do you think it helps in tax evasion? That's a good one. Is there a tax evasion one?
Is there a tax evasion stand? I feel like this is kind of cheating because a lot of these stands that I'm referencing are from Part 8, which Lawrence can't confirm or deny. There's a guy from Part 8.
Lawrence, I was trusting
money
you.
stand.
You're supposed to be the proofreader. You're supposed to be the
Proofreader. Listen, Zach goes deeper than I do. What the
that is 100%
I don't know what you expect
true.
from me.
There's a stand from Part 8. It's a very brief. He has a very brief like cameo. Well, not really cameo, but he's like a very brief stint in the story called Miligro Man, I guess. He looks like this, and the whole idea of the stand is that he moves from person to person, kind of like Cheap Trick does, and you ask him for money, any amount of money. Excuse me. And he offers it to you in the form of whatever you ask for. So if you ask for a bar of gold, he'll hand you a bar of gold. If you ask him for $50, he'll just hand you a $50 bill, right? You then have 1 hour to have spent all of your money, or else you will earn twice as much money back. So you will double your money in an hour unless you spend all of it. Normally the way that this works is that people aren't aware of this, so they kind of just hold on to the money and then wait till later. But the idea is that eventually, depending on how much money, if you were greedy and you asked for, like, let's say $1 million, it's really hard to spend $1 million in an hour. So $1 million turns into $2 million. And when that $2 million shows up, it physically shows up. Like, you will open the door to your house and it will be a sudden, like, cartoonish tidal wave of $1 bills. And you will eventually you will eventually either be crushed or suffocated under your own wealth. So that one kind of counts as tax evasion because it's literally just generating money. So there you go. I want to just do like a couple more of these because then we're just going to end stream. We're just going to pick this up next week.
Lawrence, throw something else at him.
Me throw something?
You're
He
a bit
knows
more familiar
JoJo.
with. Yeah, he's a bit more familiar with it, so he can try to give him something that's harder.
Oh, so you're saying like Lawrence should give me something that he knows that he's pretty sure isn't in part 1 through 6.
Yeah.
Oh. No, you guys do one more. I'll have to think of one.
Are there? I'm going to fairy tale territory. But are there like unicorns in JoJo?
Yes. There's
there's
a guy from part 6 called Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, of course. Okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody, where the entire point of the stand is that it turns all fictional creatures into real, like living creatures that are all like
so
horribly violent and stuff.
Oh yes, we've actually talked about this. I remember you saying maybe something about this.
Yeah, there you go. So obviously Bohemian Rhapsody doesn't necessarily have his own like visage. It's just whatever fiction he's doing. There you go. Lawrence, you got one?
Is there a scenario? It's something similar to Lord of the Rings, where if you have a ring, you're super powered.
A ring. I think so.
Some ring of power.
I think so. I think there's a stand. If it's official, like if it's an official spin-off light novel, but it's not written by Araki, does it count?
Fellas?
Wow, this is like
Sure, why not?
20 levels below.
So
deep.
there's a thing in once again, I feel bad because this is another part 8 thing. There's a thing in part 8 where Araki got bored and he started just offering like crazy stuff. Like he just started adding a bunch of random shit that never paid off because he was getting bored. So there was a concept in part 8 that was established where, remember how I told you about rock humans? There's a thing where instead of gaining intelligence like humans and humanoids did, there's a different subsect of rock being that just took the visage of, like, they're essentially mimics. They can just become objects. So I talked about it many times, but the brooch that tries to convince one of the main characters to commit suicide, there's other versions of that type of creature that are like earrings and rings and stuff like that. And they're kind of like a monkey's paw situation where if you keep them, you will be a lot luckier. Like if you wear them and keep them, you'll get a lot luckier. But then in direct correspondence to how lucky you are, at a certain period of time, you will experience a sharp spike of misfortune, which could be anything from you getting hit by a car to losing your job to finding out that your lover is cheating on you. So that kind of
reminds me of
works.
Supernatural.
All right, Zach, tell me if Araki stole my idea before I had it. Is there something where you're invincible but getting hit deactivates you for a long time?
Yeah, the ragdoll effect.
Yeah.
Let me think.
If it was, you would have brought it up the twice the times I've mentioned that already.
You're probably right, because I would have to stretch it pretty far. I would have to stretch it pretty far. There's something in reverse. It's not you getting hit and ragdolling infinitely. There's a stand in part 7, which once again, I won't send any pictures because it's spoilers for Lawrence. The reason why I've been sending part 8 stuff is because part 8 sucks. There's a stand in part 7 where eventually the stand gets powerful enough to the point where if you get hit by a single one of its attacks at any point, you are permanently stuck in the state that you were as you were getting punched. So there's a character who's very specifically trying to clamber himself out of this hole, and no matter what he does, he just keeps stumbling back into the hole and falling down and like face planting back into the hole. He starts trying to do this thing where he tries to escape. He tries to use his stand ability to escape, and every time he does, he's like, "Ha! I've made it out!" And then he just gets sucked back through the portal, and he's like, "Oh fuck." So your idea, but in reverse.
Okay.
Wow.
We got time for one more. I like the idea. I know that you said it because it was specifically your idea, but I like the idea of this being, it's never going to be a recurring segment. I don't want to do that to you guys, but I like the idea of this segment being, did Araki steal my idea before I had it? Just coming up with something crazy. I want the last one to be Sabo.
Oh my god, I don't really... Is there somebody that has to do with Antarctica?
Specifically Antarctica, not just cold?
No, Antarctica. Like, yeah.
It's kind of difficult to say because there's not there is and there isn't. Unfortunately.
Well.
There is and there isn't, because there was a part where they're discussing in, I think it's part 6, where they're discussing the effects of what Stan users, like the effects of Stan users on human history, like the kinds of things that Stan users are capable of when compared to normal human beings. And the guy who was super famous for just like venturing out into the like icy wasteland of the Antarctic.
Wow.
He is a stand user, but they never talk about what his stand was. They just kind of loosely reference him as a stand user. So it's like, I guess that kind of counts. However, if you're just looking for like cold place, like ice place, the meteor that fell that eventually would be carved into the arrowheads that gave everybody stand powers, those fell in northern Canada, which is the Arctic. So there you go.
Great. Well, there we go. We have it, ladies and gentlemen. How you can't ever escape JoJo.
It's there. It's everywhere. It's just
everywhere.
it's just like how Homestuck can connect to everything. JoJo is everywhere. It just is.
God.
All right. Well, this was fun. We'll be back with more.
That's a good thing. I should see if I can connect something to. I don't think Homestuck is as ubiquitous. Homestuck is really niche and weird comparatively.
We will be back with more of this on Friday. Lawrence will be missing a little bit of the beginning, obviously, so hopefully he doesn't miss too much. But yeah, I will see two of you tomorrow for Outer Wilds. If Jesse goes fucking buck wild and finishes, Dark Bramble and Timberhearth in less than an hour, which is possible, we could possibly do the Quantum Moon and the ending if we stretch our time a little bit. Wow. So I don't know if we necessarily want to push for I don't know if we necessarily want to push for that. But like, because if we don't do it like this, like if we don't finish it tomorrow, I think we'll have like obviously one more Sunday where it'll be like 2 hours and then that's it. And who knows, maybe we'll prefer that, but we'll cross the bridge when we come to it tomorrow. But anyway, Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, stream.